Hey yo, that's my friend Marita.
All right. We're live.
We live?
Yes, we are.
Hell yeah. What's up, Venom?
Let's go with it.
Hell yeah. It's glad to see you. Or I'm glad to see you. It's glad to see you.
It's glad to see
It's
you.
glad to see you.
You know what I'm saying? Nice to see y'all too, man.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn.
So for those at home who don't know, we're here on the company podcast with at Joel Venom.
Yes.
At
I got the
Joel Venom. I've got the Venom.
Venom. Yes.
That's right. We all got the Venom here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Healthy, chilling, staying positive, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
What you doing to stay healthy?
Shit. Staying away from unhealthy motherfuckers.
There you go, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Toxicity is the
God damn it.
bane.
That's what you got to do, but just staying out the way, staying focused and shit. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Keeping in contact with the right people. You know what I'm saying? Staying around the right people, shit like that.
That was a conversation we had in the last podcast, the circle.
Word.
How
Yeah.
important the circle is. I mean, because while to me it's funny that we mentioned the word health and the first thing that didn't come up was food and how I'm fat as fuck. Nah, but you know you talked about energy,
Yeah.
keeping the right people around you. That shit, that mental health. We also talked about that on the last podcast. But yeah, man, that shit is important for sure.
Yeah, mental health, like shit with the field that we in, like the music field and all that shit. Mental health is definitely important, you feel me? It's like you gotta not all the time are you gonna have a clear head, but you just gotta balance certain shit, like, because once shit starts getting real, like with this music shit, once shit starts getting rolling, all that time before, you don't really have that no more. So it's like you just gotta start balancing shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you put a lot of faith into like spiritual energies?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I be wearing stones, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I asked. I
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
that wire
Let's
wrap
see
is
'em.
hard, dude.
I be, this right here, this is amethyst. This right here is tiger eye. This is the bracelet, tiger eye bracelet. And this is carnelian.
What's your favorite crystal to have on you?
Shit. This one right here.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Amethyst.
When we were having the conversation, like before recording, I was looking at that rap and I was like, "That shit is hard."
The
Dude.
eye of Horus, my man Jay Official, shout out Jay Official. He's in my team Crown. He be rapping these, like he be making all types of different rappings and shit, and be selling them too. So you know what I'm saying? If motherfuckers want some,
Hey, shout them out at what?
Jay Official at Jay Official JAYOP.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
His shit is crazy. ISHAL. Yeah,
something like that.
hell yeah. Very unique, but you know, that type shit. But
Oh yeah, I met bro at the damn show.
Yeah. That's the yeah. He be making a lot of pieces, and he be doing a lot of shit. He produces, he raps, he the sound man for like events and shit.
That don't surprise me. I believe that someone like that would be around you. No, I'm serious.
Hell yeah.
But you said something earlier that I kind of wanted you to elaborate on.
Yeah.
You said something about balance. How do you stay balanced? I mean, I see you all the time on Instagram, working in the studio. I mean, shit. We were talking about being here early in the morning today, and you were in the studio till like 2, 3. Like, how do you stay balanced? Like, you know, keeping yourself not burn out on the music.
Shit. That's a good question. Like what I do is like once I get out of the zone of making music, I just go back to like my childlike thing. So like if I let's say if I want to watch cartoons or some shit like that, I watch certain shit that won't make me think as much, so that when I get back in my space, you know what I'm saying, my bubble, my grind and shit, it's like it's not too much on my mind or whatnot.
What
know
are you
I'm saying?
watching?
Shit, Dragon Ball Z, motherfucking.
I knew you were gonna say that because
yeah.
of the song names, all that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Symbiote. That's obviously a reference to Venom. Is that your favorite superhero?
What? Nah, it's crazy with Venom. It's like,
That's my favorite Spider-Man character.
yeah, I'm not even like no comic book type of motherfucker. It's like, it's crazy with my name, like Venom and shit. I just used Venom because my sister got bit by a snake in Africa. Like, I think it was some type of mamba or some shit. So she was about to die when she got bit on the cheek when she was a little girl and shit. But what they did to heal her is they took the venom from the snake and put it back on her wound, and it healed the wound. So basically, I learned right then and there when my pops told me the story and shit, like, venom could either kill you or it could save you. So I was like, all right, bet I'm going to use that for my name.
Like it's the double-edged sword. Like, it's deadly, but it's also, it can cure you. That's like the only thing that can cure you is the venom from that shit.
That's crazy. That brings like a whole new light to the like anti-hero that is Venom.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Most people be asking me like, yo, how did you choose your name and shit? Nah, that's how it really happened. You know what I mean?
And is it Joel or is Joel?
It's Joel.
Joel. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I heard somebody call you that, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just remember that. And I'll always call you Joel.
Trey 60, shout out Trey 60. He fucking snapped on somebody the other day. He said his name's not Billy Joel, man. It's Joel. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, Billy Joel's hard though. He got some bangers, but yeah. No, I mean, because I mean that's your name, bro. I mean, you don't want to be. Or some people called you Venom or some shit.
Venom.
I've lived that my whole life.
That's crazy to say Venom.
Venom. Hey,
like
Venom.
Phenom, like high school Phenom. Hey yo, Joel Venom. Oh nah, man. We might have to step to the side. So Venom, damn.
I've lived with that my whole life. My government name is Colin.
Yeah.
And on paper I got one L, so they'd be calling me Colin.
Oh hell no!
Nah,
now they can't read. That's two O's, bro.
Colin Hass.
Like,
yo, what?
Yeah, my last name ain't even Hass.
Yeah,
you're just trying to make fun of me now, dude.
But yeah. So you said you watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Obviously, it influences your music in some way. With all the song titles and stuff like that. I think we've talked about this on the podcast before about like nerd culture and things of that nature.
Yeah.
With Houston.
Yeah. And, what's funny is like recently, Tia Corinne coming out of Raleigh.
Yeah.
I feel like or at least that's one big example that's in the forefront of my mind of someone who uses like, comic books
like
or anime or Zanga or, whatever. And that really influences her music.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that, on a similar... That's kind of like a similar level for you? Or would you just say, it's purely coincidence that, you're naming these songs like...
Oh, well, I mean, I've always been the anime type of dude.
Yeah.
But it was more so like once I got older, it was like some of my homies don't watch that shit. Some of my homies do.
Yeah.
But we be joking and shit. So then I was just like talking to my homie one time and he was like, yo, you should start incorporating like how you look at like that anime, Dragon Ball Z or whatever, and start putting it in your music or whatever. So I was like, all right, bet, like I'm gonna just make a tape like called Level 9000 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like because when he does when the Level 9000 thing happens, then motherfuckers don't know what's gonna happen, and the scouter breaks. Like there's no limit to, you know what I mean? So
I mean that's cool though, because like we've talked about on previous podcasts, the concept thing with projects. I think that's cool, and taking your imagination to a different level, and figuring out how something in a fantasy world can translate to something here, and then putting your own perspective on that can definitely make for some cool creative content, for sure. Would you say that's something that you're going to continue to do?
Yeah, because I do got a deluxe for Level 9000 coming.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Same with Apex. So it's going to be totally different songs on there. But it's a couple sagas, you know what I'm saying, and Dragon Ball Z. So you never know. Motherfuckers might get something, you know what I'm saying?
You heard it first.
I mean? It's going to be some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be some shit, man.
Yeah, because when he put me on to you,
Yeah.
I think the first thing that I ever heard from you was that video you put out. That
catchy snippet.
The catchy snippet
on Instagram.
Damn.
And you was playing the Dragon Ball Z game on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, this man is throwing it the fuck back right now, dude. I remember playing that shit in the back of the whip on the way somewhere, just like.
Yeah, man. Like, even that, I still, like, it's crazy because I have a lot of Game Boy games, I think. I don't know. This shit is random. That's the only Game Boy game that I have for that shit. Like, the only one. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even when, it was crazy. Even when I did that little trailer or whatever, it was like, I said, all right, let me play this game, like play the Dragon Ball Z game, incorporate it, because they just coming off of level 9,000. Wait, yeah, they just coming off of level 9,000 or whatever, my last project. So let me like segue it into this shit, you know what I'm saying? Which is still, I don't know, man. It's a lot of shit with that shit, man. Dragon Ball Z would be like all over my career with certain shit. It'll be in lines, it'll be in bars, it'll be.
I mean, I think that's cool though, you
That
know,
is cool.
especially to people, you know, being an artist is about trying to get as much exposure as possible, but from an organic standpoint, the people around you will be able to relate to your music, not necessarily because of what you say, but because they know that you are literally the person that's in that video. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like you know an artist, but the shit they be rapping about or singing about, it's like, that ain't you.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, them seeing you play a Dragon Ball Z game in there, and they know, this motherfucker watches.
Being themselves and shit.
Being yourself, and that's genuine. You know, that's relatable.
Yeah.
For sure. I need to start putting some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. I fucked with Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day.
I don't know. I don't know about it's certain things, like I don't know. It's weird, like with the way hip hop culture it is. It's like, I guess Dragon Ball Z is like acceptable because Uzi did it. Uzi had the was it, the Trunks tape or whatever.
Yep.
So, and that was kind of different because everybody be talking about Goku, but like Trunks' whole shit is like a whole nother thing.
I mean, mad people have bars about it. I mean, even Rick Ross, I remember having a bar about it. And Duckworth, I don't know if you know who Duckworth is.
I think I know who Duckworth is.
He's all into the anime culture. Would you say Dragon Ball Z is your favorite anime?
Yeah, and it's weird because when I started watching it, it was like I was doing Taekwondo at the time. So, and my pops like kind of grew, like when I grew up, my pops was watching, like we were watching Drunken Monk. We were watching just a whole bunch of different martial arts shit. So when I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I was like, oh shit, this is like my version of his martial arts type shit. Like this is for like my, you know what I'm saying, my age group and shit. And plus, since I was in Taekwondo, it was just like I was watching that shit, like, you know what I mean? But then it became interesting because of how the sagas would be and like what they would teach you within the actual like show and shit. Like they teach you like ego death. They teach you like, you know what I'm saying, like timing is everything. Because you know them motherfuckers, whenever they got a chance to kill somebody, motherfuckers fuck up.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's how it is. My favorite though. Like it's my favorite.
I didn't appreciate anime until I got older.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my mom liked Dragon Ball. Where Goku was a little kid.
Yeah.
She liked that and tried to put me onto it. But as a little kid, you're looking at it like, okay, this is a cartoon, but there's like very deep elements in Dragon Ball Z. And as a kid, I'm watching this going, what the fuck are you watching, yo?
Yeah.
Why is my mom watching this cartoon and I have no idea what the fuck going on?
Yeah, it's like, even in the new Dragon Ball Z shit, they got shit that like people don't know that there's other planets in the universe that we haven't seen and shit. And it'd be funny because in the new Dragon Ball Z, it's like when they open up that that saga, it's like universe against universe. So then in a way, it's like how I be thinking when I watch it, it's like, all right, when you create something, you kind of sense or know that this thing exists, you know what I'm saying? But it's just how you show it to the people, you know what I mean? And that's what, it's like Dragon Ball Z does that shit all the time, like Bibbity, Bobbity, Boo, like that's magic, you know what I'm saying? They had Bibbity, the father of Bobbity, then you got Bobbity, then you got Boo, Majin Buu, you know what I'm saying? And all that was magic. And the nigga, the motherfucking villain, the main villain before Boo was doing magic. You know what I'm saying?
Who was before Boo? That was Frieza, right?
Well, no, I mean the dude that was controlling Boo was doing
okay,
magic.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Bibbity, Bobbity, Boo when you actually look at the shit, like the witchcraft. Then you got Frieza. I don't know. That motherfucker just ugly. He just
Frieza
That's one of my favorite
favorite
villains, though.
yeah, that like for real, Frieza though. Like, cause I'd be telling people, they be like, when I be asking them, I'm like, who's your favorite villain? They be like, oh, Cell or Majin Buu. But I be saying Frieza because I'm like, bro, that's straight raw. That's like, like
They
that
couldn't beat that motherfucker.
Yeah, that motherfucker was killing motherfuckers like.
Just
like
when they
that.
thought they beat him, bro was getting stronger.
Frieza
Like,
was
what?
Frieza was like the embodiment of hate, which is why I think I really, especially as a younger man, when I was like getting into Dragon Ball Z, I was like, I identify with that because I got mad hormones and testosterone going through me, and I fucking hate all y'all motherfuckers.
It's true though, like, you know, it like that's what I mean by like showed certain things, like how like Goku is like boom. He is the strongest, but the motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying, just because he's nice, people take his kindness for weakness.
Right.
But then once he snapped, then they want that kindness back. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. It's different levels, man.
Hell yeah. I think it's cool though. You know, you mentioned you appreciate it more as an adult. And I think that, you know, what's funny is that the reason I appreciated Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid is the reason that I appreciate it the same now. And it was like I could relate to the fact or to the concept of heart of the cards, like believing that the next thing that you're going to do, you have to believe that with every ounce and you can make that shit come true. That's why like I believe speaking things into the universe and all that shit, because, you know, if you believe it, then, you know, that's the energy that you're bringing towards you. So like when I would go back and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! As an adult, I was like, man, I got even more hype. Like during scenes, watching it as an adult, I was like, let's fucking go. Even though I knew it was going to happen, he's like, Kaiba, I've had enough. You've terrorized my friends long enough. Dark Magician and attack mode. And I'm just like, let's fucking go, Yugi. That's what I'm fucking talking about. And then you got Kaiba in the background. Oh, just like the crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's real though.
But it's real, and like there's stuff that you can really learn from it. You know, if you're on that wave of opening your mind to like just like, you know, because it's hard for me to believe that creators that make stuff like that are not also putting, you know, their passion into stuff like that. So for example, like when I'm making a beat, like with Kit or with Steez or somebody, like I'm putting like I'm not on the mic. So how can I put my emotion into this art?
I know what you're saying.
So I'm doing it through the music. You know, they're not the actors saying the words, but they're the ones creating the script. They're the ones creating the actual art and like the facial expressions and all that. I mean, that's a whole thing in anime. Like that, like it's important to get that right in order to, you know, convey that stuff. So, you know, they're putting their passion and, you know, what makes them into these shows that we watch. And I feel like, you know, the same way that, you know, and like people will relate to an artist and feel that song, we relate to that because we feel what they were putting into, you know, their show.
And then in a sense, it's like before when you said that balance, how do you find it and shit? When I be watching anime or whatever, it's like the fact that it's a cartoon, I treat it like I'm a kid because I feel like that it's not a person.
Yeah.
So it's like there'd be times like if I'm watching a podcast, right? Let's just say if I'm watching a podcast or an interview, like I love watching them shits. But then there'll be some podcasts where I'm like, oh, this motherfucker ignorant. Like, he not really answering questions. He not really talking. Like, this shit boring. With a cartoon, you're not going to do that. You're not going to feel no type of emotion and click that shit off. It's either it's whack or it's dope. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it leaves room for an empty space where it's like you're not really thinking. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny that you said that.
Same
I mean,
with
that's
beats,
on the money.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, I mean, I'll put something like Pokemon on, even like the new episodes, like ones I've never seen before, with literally no expectation.
Yeah.
Like I just want my brain to be mindless, and like I'll like go
That's crazy,
fold some
bro.
laundry or do some dishes, and then anything I see on Pokemon is always a positive reaction because I have no expectations.
Exactly.
Whereas like you said, if you're doing some stuff that leads someone's subject to be criticized or judged,
It's
and
different.
then you're like, man, this is cap. Like this is some bullshit. I mean, I'm not gonna tell somebody, the creator of Pokemon, that. Like I'm gonna be like, good job. That's awesome.
It's like it's
Good
kind of
content.
like a world of like no judgment, just like floating type shit sometimes. But then it also teaches you like if cartoons can do that, you could do that without cartoons. Like you just have to find that space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, it's a mindset thing. When you go to turn on Dragon Ball Z, it's like if we have any smokers that watch, it's like, if you haven't smoked in a while and then you're about to get some
hell
bud,
yeah.
like your whole attitude changes. It's the same thing with like when you go to put on Dragon Ball Z, your attitude is like, oh shit, where the
Yeah.
laptop at? I'm about to put
Yeah.
on some Dragon Ball Z.
For real.
And then your brain is already in a positive state of mind before you've even put on Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z, as opposed to, something else. But
Hell yeah, that shit's interesting, man.
hell yeah.
You know?
My version of that would be video games. And
Yep.
I go into it with a positive state of mind and come out of it going, these motherfuckers are trash, dude. Why do I even play with these people?
You
Yeah,
could-
I feel you, man.
Question. You could still. I've had a problem with playing video games recently. I don't know what it. I feel like I got no time
Yeah.
to play the video games. That's why I don't even buy them because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy them.
Look, man, we're on the same thing, man. For the last 2 months, I had my Xbox Live subscription canceled because I was just working. Like I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have time to play video
Yeah.
games. What is the point of me paying $15 a month or whatever the subscription is, knowing that I'm not gonna even turn on my Xbox? So then I found out, okay, Joe, like, not that I was feeling burnt out, but I was getting to a point where, like, okay, literally all you're doing is sitting at your desk, turning on the speakers and making beats or
Yeah.
working on something music related. You need to, find a way to just create a little bit of balance. So then, like, I started watching some YouTube videos to, create balance. But then I found out, okay, well, now the YouTube videos I'm watching are about
Beats.
marketing release plans or are about like mixing strategies. It's like, okay, look, I mean, that's kind of balance, but bro, you really just need to do something where you can laugh and have fun. So, video games is that, but there's definitely a fine line. I mean, they can be addicting. You got to be able to tell yourself, look, man, I got shit to do, guys. I'm getting off.
Yeah.
And I got to do my shit.
Hell yeah.
Because it used to be, I used to not be able to do that, and I would just grind video games all the time. And having looked at the number of hours I've logged on particular games on the Xbox, I'm ashamed to say that I've spent 20 something days total on one video game.
Yeah.
So knowing that's what made me quit video games like altogether. But I mean, now I play them. Like, I used to be like Kit, where like if somebody was dog shit, like that shit fucked my whole day up. Like, man, like, dude, why the fuck are you playing like that? Like, but then at the same time, now I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be the little kid shitting on motherfuckers and be like, yo, you fucking suck, you're trash, this or that. Now I'm the guy getting shit on by the little kids and people wondering why I'm dog shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand now. It has all come full circle. But nonetheless, my competitiveness in that, department is much lower. I mean, I always want to win, but at the same time, I'm not getting mad no more. I'm not,
Yeah.
Speaking
destroying friendships over it.
Speaking of competitiveness, so you produce,
Mm-hmm.
you rap, sing,
Yeah.
/sing, engineer.
Yeah.
Which one of those three is your, like, I'm gonna do all these, but I really want to focus on this one?
Rapping. Yeah. Because that's what I started out doing. Like, it's weird, like, I've always like known rhythm, know, like I used to be the motherfucker in the car, like where it's me, my sister, you know what I'm saying, and somebody else in the car or my brother. And what's the song? You know when motherfuckers be singing shit off key?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always used to wonder when I was little, like, why are they singing it like that when it doesn't sound like that? You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, you know what I'm
You
saying?
artists, you be thinking the same thing when y'all hop on the mic
Yeah.
now.
And then it's like, I remember like, okay, this is weird. You might not get what I'm saying, but I'm gonna explain it. So if you listen to a track, right, which is why I tell people this is just like a little bit of sauce. If you listen to a track, right, and you just listen to it and relax your brain, you'll know the next word for every single line that somebody's going to say, no matter what genre. If you literally just, you know how...
You're talking about predicting the next line?
Yeah, like,
Okay,
you know how you'll talk to somebody and you could literally go, nah, and like mouth out what they're saying. I used to do that when I was a little kid too. Like when I listened to music, I'd be like, damn, how the fuck do I know what they're going to say next? So motherfucking, I mean... the artist shit I've always, that's how everything else started. Like I only started making beats because when I moved here in like 2014 or some shit, when I moved here, my mic was in storage since we were getting our house built. So my homie Amph Raw and shit, shout out to him, he from the 610, that's where I'm from and shit. He would always tell me before I moved, like before I officially moved, damn, he would tell me two things. That's crazy. Yo, you need to freestyle more. Like, just straight up freestyle. Like, your freestyles are better than your songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he told me that shit. Then he would tell me, yo, why don't you make beats, bro? Every beat that you're choosing to rap on be harder than these motherfucking songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, your beat choices means that you know what to pick for a beat, like sound selection. So I started fucking around and shit. And then I wasn't really on SoundCloud. I was more so on YouTube. So I would make shit, put it on YouTube, make shit, put it on YouTube, like just do it. When I moved over here, like I said, my shit was in storage. So I was like, all right, back to the beats. Got back to the beats. Then motherfuckers actually wanted to start buying shit. So then I'm like, what the fuck? Motherfuckers really buy beats? Like I knew that motherfuckers buy beats when you're the artist looking on SoundClick and shit like that. But it's different when you making the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, I was like, well, damn, I didn't really start out making beats to make beats. It's like I'm making beats now because I can't record to get that same energy off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just write to beats. Like, I'm going to go crazy. Like, I need to actually make music in some type of way. So when I started getting paid from that shit, I just kept putting shit up, like, had people, like, Snow the Product, people fucking hit me up, like.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's hard.
That was a weird situation, because during this whole time, I only started making beats because my mic wasn't with me. So even when I'm getting paid and all this shit, it's like I'm halfway in, halfway out. Like, I'm interested at this time. I was interested, but I didn't really know about what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So when motherfuckers wanted beats or Snow the Product shit, that shit was weird because her fucking manager was on some weird shit. And that, you remember how I was talking to you, Marita, how like something to happen in your career or whatnot, and it'll make you feel like it'll never happen again. Like when they didn't use a specific beat or they didn't go through with the process because I was quote unquote late to responding or whatever, I felt like, damn, that was probably my only shot or whatnot. And then my brother was like, nah, like,
that's just the beginning.
Yeah, he was like, this just the beginning and shit. Like, he was like, think of it, why would these motherfuckers holler at you and why would they cuss you out if they could holler at so many other people?
Correct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, well, shit, I already jumped in this shit because I didn't, like, have my microphone. Now I got my microphone. So now I'm making songs, but then I'm not realizing every beat I'm uploading, when I'm going to sleep and waking up, motherfuckers actually listening to this shit. So it's like, while I was doing my rap thing and I was already doing my beat thing, it's like it clashed at some point. Like, you got motherfuckers that know me for the beats, motherfuckers that know me for the rapping shit, but it didn't really start like, yo, I want to make beats. It was just like, I know rhythmic patterns, like I know how to make beats, but then it was like, shit, gotta do this shit just to get off something. Now I'm like here and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, over the years though, I'm not gonna lie, like getting into production, I was like, yeah, if I had stayed just an artist, like this shit would have been boring, because me being a producer and an artist, it's like I see and hear other things, like, and I experience other things. Like, producers are way more humble than artists are. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they're more willing to work with each other. It's more ego, and well, sometimes it might be ego, but not really though. Like, that shit'll get canceled out quick. As soon as you hear a dope 808 or however they doing some melodies, you'll be like, oh shit, this motherfucker fired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? With the rapper shit, it's like I just kept running into egos. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody got an ego, but I mean, at some point I was like, shit, I'm better than motherfuckers, and I don't like to be in a room where I'm better than motherfuckers. I want to be around motherfuckers where I don't know what's going on, and they're gonna scare me.
Yeah.
And producers were scaring me more than artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like from like a technical standpoint, there's a lot more to learn from each other as producers, right?
Yeah.
So if your 808s ain't knocking the way you want to, and then you hear one from a producer, it's like, you're not going to go up to him and be like, man, fuck that motherfucker. I'll figure it out myself. Instead, you're going to ask them.
Yeah.
But with rappers, it's like, if
you can't do that.
No, you can't, because for some reason, like the way you flow and the way you put your bars together and what you were saying in those bars is a complete representation of the ego you're trying to project out.
Yeah, because that's all it is. Yeah.
So when those two egos get together and they start clashing, that's when you get falling outs and shit like that.
And I ain't gonna lie, like, because I'm from PA, so it's like when you rap, like everybody raps, and the first thing you not gonna do, like, I know the thing happened with Drake and songwriting and shit, like motherfuckers like, I'm never gonna, man, in PA, motherfuckers won't respect you for that shit. Like, they won't.
Having a ghostwriter?
For a ghostwriter, if you're not nice with rapping, because even motherfuckers' grandmas rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, everybody raps.
Yeah, so it's like different things. So me coming out of PA and coming here, even when certain people were like, yo, I should get in the studio with you and write some shit. Like the shit that you be telling me, like, yo, listen, back then I would have been like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like weird. It's like, nah, if this motherfucker helped me with this, it's not my song. But when I started dealing with, working with different producers and then all this other shit, it like lowered that shit where it was like, nah, we could work together. Like, shit, you could write this and I'll sing this. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop be like too many rules sometimes, like where it limits your creativity. And then when you jump out of that box, now you're a pop star. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck it. You could be a rapper and a pop star. Look at the baby. I consider that a pop star.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you know, it's been interesting. I mean, my experience in different music scenes has been much different than the hip hop scene. You know, as a producer, it has definitely felt more like collaborative than when I was in like a band scene. Like the whole band had like 5 egos. And it was like 5 egos versus another 5 egos. Whereas rappers is just one ego versus another ego. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But just you have bands now. And you have some dog shit drummer believing he's better than some other dog shit drummer. And like neither of them can play in time.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, but with the producers, it's definitely like, you know, at first it's like, I mean, me, like, I don't go into any room expecting anyone to know who I am.
Yeah.
But as soon as I do something, like, I think just because like what you said, like, you know, producers or whatever, until they hear, oh, that's a fire ass melody or that's a fire ass 808 pattern or hi-hat pattern or whatever. This guy's hard, right? So that's usually been my experience. Like, people don't expect me to be fire at anything until, I pull out a guitar or, they hear a loop that I made or some shit, like, and, whatever. I'm okay with it being that way, until it gets to the point where it's not that way anymore. I mean, overlooked, underestimated, like, I don't give a shit because at the end of the day, the right people are gonna. I mean,
I actually like
it's
that
just
shit,
time,
man.
What?
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I like minding my business. Like, I like. You know how you'll see artists come into the studio and you'll be like, oh, that's the artist.
Yeah.
Because how they look. Like, I like walking into the studio and you really think I'm a lackey. Like, I love that shit because forever you're going to be surprised by anything I do. I could get macaroni and cheese and eat macaroni and cheese in front of you, and you're going to think I'm the most incredible motherfucker ever because you had an expectation on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
correct.
This motherfucker
I mean,
ain't
everybody
nothing.
does that, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's cool with me. It's okay. But, I mean, for me, like, I'm at the point where, I mean, it's not always been this way, and I definitely am insecure about, my work to this day still. But I'm at the point where I'm confident enough about the result that I can put on the table, that I can walk into a room and not give a fuck, like, if anybody knows who I am or this or that. I was at a listening party for my boy Steez, and, like, I made a lot of music on his solo album, and there were people there is like
that didn't know.
Well, that didn't know who I was or anything, and then, like, he gave me some recognition and blah blah blah, and it got to the point where the one guy was like, "Hey man, I own a record label. We pay for beats, this or that. Like, I gotta have your info and stuff like that." Like,
and you felt weird.
No, well, I mean, it was whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool, like, it's another person to know.
Yeah.
Like, I let him know, like, hey, man, I don't really send out beats.
Yeah.
But I would be happy to, work with anybody, like, when I'm back in Charlotte.
Word.
This or that. But my thing is like, my point is that I didn't have to make people known. I personally didn't need for people to know that I made those beats, or that, I'm the motherfucker who made that hard shit. Like, but people will recognize that as soon as, if your work speaks for itself, then it speaks for itself. People are going to come to you and be like, yo, that shit's hard.
Yeah.
And, how can we work? What can we do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I don't need, the spotlight.
I ain't gonna cap. You've left the studio one time and a motherfucker regularly was like, all right, what's up, bro? And then I've been like, who just left the fucking studio? And they're like, nah. And then I talk about you, like, oh shit, man, I should have said something, but I feel you though.
No.
So sometimes you don't need to. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, my personal philosophy, which has been, kind of crafted by just watching other producers and stuff. But, like, if we're going to work, we're going to work at some point. I'll bring it up. I'll be the squeaky wheel if I have to, and, be like, hey, man, let's work. Hey, man, let's work. Hey, man, let's work. I'm not going to do it in an overbearing way. But if I want to work, I'm going to make it happen. But I'm not going to, jeopardize my own philosophy by being like, oh, this could be my only chance to work with this person. Let me send them beats. And then the result is something that I knew would have been better if I had just waited.
It's crazy because how I got the old ass Uno, the activist placement, it wasn't even like, yo, let's work. I literally went on Twitter and literally typed in who needs beats, and I had beats on SoundCloud at that time, and every person that said they needed beats, I pasted the link. And I said, just go on it, and all you got to do is just give me credit. So when you would look on SoundCloud and you type in Joel Venom, you're going to see a lot of produced by Joel Venom. And
Yeah.
I had a strategy with the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be crazy with that shit, man.
I mean, that's what you have to do, though. I mean, I mean, even in regards to being an artist, like, you have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody believes that, the first song they're going to drop is going to be, the ticket to, or whatever. And I mean, it's just funny. Like, man, I mean, I work with so many people who are like, dude, this is it, man. Or like they'll tag you and be like, we're going up. Like, that's cool. I mean, I've fucked with you for that. I appreciate you, feeling the song that much. I appreciate you hopping on the beat and, fucking with it that hard. But, like, look, man, I'm still here. You know, if every song we did, you know, went up, then, you know, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here, you know, talking through this medium right now.
As soon as the bass and the snare hits, you're the fucking goat, Marita.
I disappointed myself so bad. I was listening to so much. Yo, hip hop be influencing some fucked up things, man. Yeah, it's something, and that's why I made it before I was 25. And in my head, I was like, yeah, that's why I'm gonna make it before I'm 25, nigga. Turned 25, didn't make it. I said, damn.
No,
what
it's
the
facts.
fuck going
Yeah,
on?
the only shit I learned how to make was my bed by that point.
Sometimes
I
not
made
even
shit.
that.
Right. Man.
That shit be real though, man.
And it's okay, man. You know, I feel like, you know, some of these people, you know, we think like just because they're young and they're famous, they had it all figured out and they knew that that's exactly what they want to do. Some people do this because they have to.
Do you really think sometimes, like, with what I just said, there's some people that really thought, yeah, I'm going to make it before I'm 25 and actually made it. Do you feel like that was the blessing or the curse? Because sometimes I feel like that I didn't make it when I was 25 or whatever the fuck, and that now I'm getting the recognition. It's like I feel like, I would have got taken advantage of. I would have been lost in this motherfucker.
I mean, you can learn from anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be, you know, a blessing or it could be the curse. You know, I'm not going to, you know, if I look back and say I made it and, you know, in my mind, made it is different than what yours is and what, you know, Kit's is. But if I had made it for myself at 25, I mean, I can't see a lot of regret in that. But I do see where, you know, my experience that I have experienced, right? And I've learned a lot along the way between 25 and now. You know, so you're right. You know, maybe what is the blessing, you know, that you can say that you made it, or the experience that has crafted you into the person you are. I wouldn't be who I am today if I had made it at 25.
Same, yeah.
You know, I'd probably be a less humble, more of a shitty person.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was young, you know, recognition was something that was important to me. Being and what would I have been recognized for? I'm nowhere near as hard as I was back then as I am today. And, you know, the only way I got that way was learning through humbling experiences, which if I had made it at 25, who knows if I had those, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's a, you know, both sides of the fence to every situation. Like, cause we had asked, you know, dang LJ.
Yeah. I
was like, you know, do you think you would be the producer you are today, you know, if it weren't for the family man lifestyle? You know, he's young and has kids and a wife.
How old is LJ, by the way?
He's like 23, 24. Right.
The fuck, bro?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, he already has a family and shit. Like, you know, he's doing the husband shit. Go to work, come home, take care of the kid, all that stuff. And he makes hard beats, you know, in his spare time. And, you know, if he wasn't a family man and he didn't have that discipline to say, okay, you only have from 8 p.m. until 3 a.m. to make beats, how many are you going to make? If he didn't have that,
what would he?
What would he be where he is? Because I know, I mean,
shit. like basically, like if that mic did come to my doorstep, would I be even making beats? Making beats. You know what I'm saying?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, digressing and unpacking that, I feel like from a personal standpoint, I see a lot of these young rappers and producers that have made it at a young age. I mean, just off the top of my head, like a Lil Pump and Kodak and Big Head and you know, thinking about it, I'm saying a lot of Florida names, but maybe that's a regional thing. Then I see them kind of sort of going down the wrong path.
Yeah,
they made it. They're young. They got money. What are they doing now? Sipping lean, doing perks, doing all this shit. And I like to think that I wouldn't have been that person if I made it at 21, 22, 23. But I think chances are the way that I was, I probably would have been. You know, I probably would have been gotten fucked up off them drugs and turned out the same way they did. I mean, I seen Big Head do an interview with Adam 22 talking about, you know, at 24, he just got out of rehab for a year. Yeah. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's so young too. Like,
so young.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen to someone in someone's life to where, you know, you're traumatized and you feel like you need to self-medicate with, something. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from anybody, but still, man, that's so young. Like, to feel like, the only way you can cope is to be,
I feel like my shit was a blessing because even before coming here, it was like before I moved here, like my whole town knew who I was rapping wise. Like I was getting paid for like shows. I was even getting paid just to show up at people's cribs just to perform like 2 songs, like $250 or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my buzz was getting crazy, but I felt like it was a blessing because shit was, when you start buzzing and then shit gets confusing, like random people start hitting you up, all that other shit. Like that started to happen. Then I moved, but I feel like if I would have stayed in Pennsylvania, that would have destroyed me too. Like that whole buzz and all that shit. Because I mean,
you would have become the artist that we're talking about.
I had like mad people around me. Not saying that they didn't have their own brains, but I had mad people around me. Like I had mad people around me. I had mad influence. So I felt like each and every time, like when that happened and I moved, it was like starting over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get too big-headed. Even though I wasn't big-headed, then like, you know what I'm saying? Every time it was like a start over. It was like a humbling moment to like, I feel like God was trying to make it to where like, yo, don't ever get big-headed. As soon as you get big-headed, I'm going to show you not to type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, you can most certainly look at it that way. I mean, similarly, when COVID hit, I moved from Charlotte back to the Raleigh area. And, I mean, even though it's only 3 hours away, sometimes in a way, it felt like starting over because it was so easy for me just to go to Audio Box or just to hit up Steve's and be like, yo, let's work. Whereas now, like, I got to plan a whole fucking weekend around linking up with people in Charlotte or whatever. And then, from a network standpoint, I had to, make new connections and, meet new people and, all that stuff. So, but it sometimes, or just depending on your perspective, it does feel like a blessing,
Yeah.
I mean, comfortability can be can be something that can bring you down too. If you get too comfortable with where you are or what things going on, that you get complacent, then things pass you by and you wonder, why not me? Why is everybody else, working or doing this and that? It's like, at some point you have to, be like, okay, this level of work that I've been at, is productive and is high level, but I need to take it to the next level. I need to, how can I step my game up?
Yeah.
But
that'd be like the challenging part.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you, like, let's say you get a placement and then everybody, you got, but then it's like during that commotion, it's like, do you celebrate or do you work? I feel like you work so that you can be able to celebrate.
I mean, yeah, that's the time to work. You know what I'm saying? Like when, like my thing, like my idea, like when Glacier got signed to BDB, I was like, work's just starting for that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's worked up until that point, not to, discredit anything he had done before that, but it's like, okay, now
it's real.
Now it's real. Now you're expected to make hard stuff because more than likely one of these artists that are on this label are going to be on this track. There's that higher percentage of him, working with those artists and stuff. So now he has to be fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Has to be, yeah.
Whereas like, sometimes for me it feels like, am I doing the right stuff? Because, you work so much to not get any recognition. You don't like, whereas artists have fans. I mean, if they're, doing the right stuff as artists, they have fans engaging with them. Like, oh yeah, this snippet's fire. This song's fire. I don't have people telling me that as a producer. Yo, this beat is fire. Yo, this song that you're mixing is fire. Yeah. Because most of the stuff that I do is on the back end. Like it's stuff that's, behind scenes or behind closed doors. Sometimes I'll put snippets on my Instagram and it's cool to, for people to be like, oh, yo, that beat's fire. Yeah, bless you. That beats fire, or that's hard, or who is that artist? So, it makes me feel good. But, I feel like whether you're a producer or whoever, no matter how humble you are, everyone can appreciate recognition.
Yeah.
Everyone, and I feel like it's almost required at times. Like sometimes you need somebody to tell you what you're doing is cool.
Yeah.
Or what you're doing is okay. Because like everybody has their own sound, or especially from an artist or producer standpoint, you know, everybody's going to have their own flair. And just to hear that one person fucks with it, you know, is something that I feel like is needed. Because that shit can be tough, man, when you're, you know, working on your own and you have this whole vision in mind, and the first person that sees that vision can't, you know, realize the whole thing.
Yeah, that's why like I am gonna start up like some like little producer shit like sooner or later. But like with my youngins and shit, like one of my youngins, he be making beats and shit, right? And he really wasn't getting the right recognition. So at some point in time, I was just like, yo, we about to go to this studio and we about to cook and see who's there. As soon as we got there, it was D-Money, all these other people. He was like, yo, what the fuck? We about to make beats with them? I said, yeah, bro, open up your shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, after motherfuckers seen videos with him cooking up with D and all of us, like it was me, Nerda, Yayo, and D-Money. And him. So it was like, to him, he's like, oh shit, these are the motherfuckers like that everybody's talking about at that time, or everybody around our area.
Yeah.
So motherfucking, he got a little taste of like certain people fucking with him because he was around us. But then over time, motherfuckers actually like, yo, his production, like, yo, he's hard, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for a little time, he felt like he wasn't getting that recognition. Like, I could tell him, like, his shit hard, but it's different. Like, I'm his homie and shit, like, you know what I'm saying?
And you know, to me, I feel like that's where you have to know what you're looking for, what you want out of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, because there'll be times, I mean, dude, everybody's human, man. Like, I make a conscious effort to bring myself back down. Like, because like, I've been doing this for a long time. Why not be proud of something that you know you're good at, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, you have to realize that, like, okay, am I in this for the recognition? Because is it okay for me to be upset right now that, like, you know, I don't get engagement on my Instagram or shit like that, or people aren't like, that I don't have fans or anything like that? Like, am I going to get out of character because that's happening? Or am I going to take a step back and say, what am I actually doing this for? Am I doing this so that people will give me comments and likes? Because if that's the question, or if that's what I'm doing it for, well then, yeah, I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not doing what I need to do to get comments and likes. But if I'm making this music for myself, or to make the best possible record for the artist that I'm working with, or just if my goal is to make something that I'm proud of, then I don't need to get bent out of shape if, you know, one person likes it or a million people like it.
Yeah, like, I be feeling like when you said you had that, like, sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, what you doing this for? Like, every time in my life, like, the beginning when I started making music, it was like, my brother's really the motherfucker that used to tell people, hey, yo, by the way, my brother do music, or yo, by the way, he'll kill you in the battle, or yo, by the way, this. And I used to be chilling, so I never really looked for, like, people's, like, opinion on it or whatever. I didn't really care about it. But I'm going to be real, getting into this shit, when I seen that shit kind of matters, and like people coming to shows, all this other stuff, I kind of got lost in that at a point in time. And then
everybody does.
Yeah, and I had to go back to the beginning, how I was, where it's like just making this shit and not giving a fuck who hears it, like whatever. Like,
I think that's something that comes like not necessarily with age, but with just like longevity and experience in that lane. Because when you're a performer and you're aspiring to be a performer, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like the want, like the desire to be famous and have like be on that platform. I feel like, and I'm not going to generalize everybody, but just like from a personal standpoint, I remember being, 16. And in my first band, and then going and playing my first show, and then people clapping, and then girls coming up to me,
Yeah.
and then joints being passed to me, and then the bartender giving me a beer at 16. It's like, okay, I'm getting used to this shit right here.
Yeah.
This is why I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, and especially, you know, the past like 2 months or so with making music with Joe, I'm starting to really realize that the lyrics that I'm writing and the music that we are trying to make is now a lot more personal than, I got a stick in the back and I'm going to fucking shoot up the block or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're actually saying things now that I feel like would not have come out of me, and I don't know about Joe, but those emotions and those real true thoughts would have not come out of me 10 years ago. Wouldn't happen.
Like you had to have some maturing or some experiences to actually like go down a certain road and shit. That's what you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy, like, cause my mama had to tell me like, when I was younger, she was like, yeah, you used to perform and shit. Like you used to be on stage, you didn't really give a fuck about like who reacted or not, and you were more alive than most of the kids and shit. And it's like, when I was in high school, I've had a bunch of my homies be like, yo, go to the talent show. Like, I was the type of motherfucker where I'm like, no, I'm not doing the talent show. You know what I'm saying? But I'll do an actual show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to do a talent show because
it's lame.
Not even just that. It's like, yeah, it was that. The shit was fucking lame,
It's
man.
lame.
The shit was lame. You know what
You
I'm
got
saying?
nothing to prove to your peers. You want to prove to the people above you and are actively doing this shit that, hey, you're coming now.
I mean, my thing is like, it's lame for the sense that like, I think it's cool to give everyone at the school a chance to showcase their talents or whatnot. But who the fuck is going to tell me that this girl who can fucking play the flute with her nostrils or whatever is harder than me? Like me doing my thing, or some like crazy ass talent, like some girl doing backflips. Like, that's cool, but man, I just, you know, that's just, that don't make sense to me. Like, let's do like a beat battle or something.
And see, that's why I didn't want to do it, because me and my homie, shout out my boy Easy, he's in my squad, D-Fic Inc. and shit. We would always be rapping, so like every day we'd always be rapping, freestyling. And when talent shows came up, we wasn't really interested in that shit, because we like, all right, we already know if such and such gets in the talent show, they all gonna vote for him, because they're already talking about this motherfucker every day when he rapping, like he the best rapper or whatever. So, and we looking at it like, but shit, our white boy Max in the corner could dust him off with rapping, like, and he don't even care about performing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I always used to see like I always used to love like not knowing who is really that what's it called? What the fuck? Sleeper cell.
Yeah.
Like that type shit. So it's like, that's how I move. But like when you just put it like, oh, this motherfucker won, this is the most talented motherfucker, then I'm like, bro, you don't really know that. Like that could change up. Like,
that
know what I'm
could
saying?
change up.
That
Hey,
could
man,
change
let's
up
run this
easily.
back in like a year or so.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Also, like here was my thinking on not wanting to do talent shows back in the day.
Yeah.
Why would I go in front of my school and play a talent show when everybody at the school already knows that I play shows at real venues? That don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So who am I promoting there?
And me, it was like, I had people asking me every class for my mixtape. So it's like, when I'm getting paid for this shit and mixtapes is going around and shit, and that Piff is popping and everybody downloading the shit, I'm not really worried about no talent show, because I'm looking at it like, this is already kind of biased, like from whatever. But I know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That shit just always used to seem like you know how it be with local things?
Yeah, dude. All the locals will tell you your face that, oh, we're cool and this is dope, and then turn around and be like, that was whack.
Yeah, or like how sometimes local shows that have the same people, whatever the fuck. Like that's how I felt with talent shows. Like I already kind of know who's gonna win, even though I
Yeah,
don't know
I mean, you
who's
definitely
gonna
have an idea. I participated in a talent show in high school. Me and
win. He about to
dude-
get into some
bro,
shit.
hell yeah, man. Me and this guy, we wrote this fucking fire ass song, and this bitch won. Talking about she did a cover of a song. Like, she was just doing karaoke. I'm like, look, you can sing, I guess, but like,
Yeah,
it was just karaoke or just a talent show?
yeah.
Because we wrote some music and performed the shit, and you're talking about let me just hold the microphone and sing the song that somebody else wrote. Yeah,
that's
I'm good on that.
Go down the street to Good
How
Times
do
on a
you feel
Thursday
about
night.
that shit? How do you feel about that shit, man?
Dude,
Don't disrespect them now. How do you feel about covers, man?
Hey man, I fuck with covers because just like how I grew up listening to music, like I listened to a lot of rock, I listened to a lot of metal.
Yeah,
And you know, that's a good way to showcase your talent and showcase your interpretation of music. I mean, when I see a cover, what I'm expecting is not to sound like the original. If you're gonna do a full cover and like remake the beat and all that stuff, it needs to be like, you know, an interpretation of, you know, that song. Like if you want to cover this song, it needs to be like a variation
a little
of that.
bit of your own style. To it,
Well, it just depends on what kind of cover we're talking about. I mean, because I've also seen some artists, you know, who will take somebody's beat, like a famous beat, and then they'll do like, I guess, well, it's not necessarily a cover anymore. I guess a remix. They'll like freestyle over it or some shit.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, I still see that as a cover because I mean, you can't sell that. You can't. You got to just put like a clip on Instagram of you with that famous beat, because if you were to put that on like Spotify or some shit,
it's over for you.
yeah, it's over for you. Well, at some point,
Yeah.
I feel like me personally have only ever heard, or maybe it's the only one I can think off the top of my head, one cover ever done in hip hop that was then put on an album. And I think it's Genuine. The original song was Genuine, maybe.
so my thing, you can do that, but what you have to do, you have to get the samples cleared. You have to get the publishing cleared. So if you're gonna, you know, perform the song as is, you have to get permission to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to hit up the label or the publishing or the distributor, whoever's got the rights to that shit, and like, look, man, I would like to make a cover of your song. Like, how much is it going to cost?
Facts.
And I feel like, you know, most of the people that have the budget to do that are the bigger artists.
Yeah, it was Drake who did it. What's the song?
There you go.
Girl, you look good. Won't you back that ass up?
Oh,
You
yeah.
a fine motherfucker. Won't you
Oh,
back?
Juvenile. Yeah,
Juvenile. That was on his first. Well, not his first album.
So
it was
he-
on Take Care.
But see, Drake be doing the smart thing with that. He'll bring back a line, but he'll twist it a little bit so that it's not exactly the same line. You know what I'm saying?
That one in particular was a full blown cover. They just chopped and screwed it. They slowed it all the way
Oh,
down.
you talking about like the sample and shit?
No, it was they fucked up the sample, and then he slowed down the tempo and covered the song lyric for lyric. It was on Take Care.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
probably didn't pay attention to that one.
I'm a fanboy. Like
I mean, yeah, but he can get that stuff cleared though.
Yeah.
That's no issue. I mean, if one of us were to do that for, you know, somebody else's song, I'll say, yeah, good luck, guys. Like, I mean, you definitely had to get that shit cleared or get the rights to perform that shit.
Hell yeah.
Because I think, you know, most artists are set up with the PRO, so you know, if your song is performed in some form or fashion, you're gonna get paid for that, like through like royalties and stuff. But you also have to get permission. So like for example, the infamous Cisco song, that had the line "Living a Vida Loca." Whoever wrote
I
that,
know what you're talking about.
the writer of that song. No, that's Ricky Martin.
Yeah, Ricky Martin. Yeah.
So in the Cisco song, he has that line.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Cisco. They're not Cisco. Is it Cisco?
Yeah.
Bro, whoever wrote the Ricky Martin song, "Living a Vida Loca," owns like 80% of that Cisco song.
You know that.
Or some my numbers are off, but
you know that Jay-Z and Pharrell song, that "Give It to Me, Give Me That Funk, That Sweet, That Nasty." Sparks from Moschino and Sparks, that was in State Property. Sparks is the one that said, give me that funk, that sweet, that, but he didn't even get his information right. Like that motherfucker would have been a millionaire off of just saying that shit and getting his.
Well, he didn't claim it.
Nah, like he didn't know. Like you know what I'm saying.
You know, like ASAP Ferg, and he had that.
Slob on my knob.
Yep. Plain Jane. 3 6 Mafia owns most of that song.
Dude, 3 6 Mafia are like millionaires 20 times over off their
they
samples.
sued Suicide Boys. Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of that shit that be happening, man.
I'd love to like get into that, but that is like a whole world of emails and shit that I don't even want to do.
You have to know people who are also into that. I mean, I feel like even though I feel like I've experienced the business side of music, I've only been a part of a fraction of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have like sync licensing, like stuff that's not even related to artists. Like, I mean, you can be pitching your music to movies, commercials, shows, whatever. I mean, that's a whole another side of music that, you know, we haven't even,
you ever been invited to like writing camps or shit like that?
You know, I have, but like it wasn't organic. So you know who Diaper Goat is?
Nah.
So he's
hold on. That's his name?
On Instagram.
Oh shit! All right, bet.
Yeah. He's a manager.
Oh, word.
So he one of our people in Diamond Lab was introduced to him, and then he was giving us some like tips and stuff and helping us like get placements with some like verified artists, not like huge people. But he also had other producers on his team that like he was getting us to send loops to them so they could make hits for some of these artists or whatever. But he invited us to a writing camp, and I actually think Wavy P.
Yeah, Wavy P.
Yeah, I actually think he went to one of those camps in Florida.
What is a writing camp?
It's like I can't really explain it, but I know in my situation it was like Shorty was gonna like book a Airbnb or some crazy shit and have a whole bunch of writers and producers come there, and then we go ahead and make some shit to present to an artist of some sort, or have the artist there too, or groups of artists or whatnot. But shit like that, like we just.
I mean, because that's like a whole different goal is like let's make some songs, but the intention is not to have any of us actually perform the track. Like this would be a demo or a reference for bigger artists.
Yeah.
And you pass that to a manager or A&R or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's how like a lot of the ghostwriting shit comes about?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like. So I know a dude right now, and he kind of do that, but he do it in a different way. Jake Mark, like he do it to where. He put like he's a producer too, but he'll just go up in like a building in a studio. It'll be like, let's say Joe Schmo on the beat, but he'll write Joe Schmo on the beat plus Kyle plus Tim, and Kyle and Tim didn't even do the shit. You know what I'm saying? And he get them the credits. You know what I'm saying? All that shit.
That makes so much sense.
Like, cause he's able to present the record.
Yeah.
So sometimes he don't even take a percentage. He just presented it to get, his people, in line. But the writing camp shit, it's like a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, through writing camps, like, it probably won't even be a motherfucker that necessarily made the beat. He probably, like, did a hook or something, but he probably got producer credits. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, that's why you see those Beyonce songs with, like, 30 songwriters and 40 producers and shit like that.
That makes so much sense.
It could be, as little as, like, a producer being like, you know what? I like the beat the way it is. They get the project file, but they add, like, a little...
Yeah.
And now their name's on the beat.
Yeah, like, I remember fucking, what's his name, bro? What's this motherfucker's name? He made the 600 Benz beat, not Cardiac. It's not Cardiac. It's fuck, man. What's this motherfucker's name? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, he from Chicago. It was like this one artist needed some beats, and he sent me over the beat. You feel me? But he was like 3 or 4 producers already touched this. This was like 2016. And then I was like, well, shit, who all touched it? So he told me, but it was like, I'm trying to remember this motherfucker's name. But anyway, the motherfucker's name I'm trying to think of was the one who ended up like presenting the record later on, not even the artist. But it was like a weird situation where we all touched the beat, but it was like different elements. A motherfucker did the strings, but he was like, it's crazy shit. But I don't even know where that shit went. Like, you know, if shit be happening like that, sometimes it might be a dud. Sometimes it might go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But that writing camp shit, that shit.
I think that would be fun, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I would enjoy it. I personally like to get better at songwriting and, you know, even be in the room with people that are songwriting, you know, even if I'm not a part of that process. I mean, I've read books on songwriting and stuff. That's just something I like. Like, just like, I see making a song like a puzzle. You know, where can we put, oh, maybe this verse should go first instead of this verse. Let's do this for the pre-chorus to build up to the hook to make it hit harder. Like that's just the way my mind works when it comes to songs and stuff. But yeah, that would be a writing camp would be cool. You know, Diamond Lab has actually talked about that before, but you know, I think that, you know, I think you probably have to have some credibility in the songwriting department. And while they have, you know, some bigger placements or whatever, like when it comes to songwriting, I'm not sure that any of us have really
wrote a.
Well, I mean, I write songs all the time, but nothing that's like proven, hey, this is a good song. It has tons of plays, you know, this or that, you know.
Hell yeah.
But neither here nor there. Like, I mean, if you were to do something like that, I wonder who would come. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if we did our own songwriting camp, like, I mean, 'cause shit, I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Yo, come over to the crib. Let's lock in for a couple days.
I gotta start doing that soon because I'm gonna show you some shit after this where you're gonna be like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Like,
I'm gonna show you some shit too.
Word. Hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that shit is vital. Yeah. I feel like we do that all the time.
I think on a more organic level.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we were to all have the same goal, like, look, man, I don't give a fuck who is rapping. I don't give a fuck who is writing the lyrics. I don't give a fuck who is making the beat. As long as everybody in this room understands we are making the hardest record possible amongst all of us.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's what's important to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't need to be the guy that said, yeah, those are my drums. Like, I don't need to be the guy to say, yeah, that's my melody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people will know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, whatever. But when we're in that room, like, I'm ready to make some music, man. I'm ready to make a song. Yeah.
Just go and get to work type shit.
Work. Yeah, we're about to have to do a battery change. So speaking of your drums, introduce your video while we take this intermission.
Well, shit. This one called Catchy. It's off my my new mixtape, Apex. It's out on all streaming platforms. Y'all could go get that shit. You could even get it on Audio Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Call me
Hit
daddy.
up the Mac.
Hell yeah.
She don't know her daddy.
All right, we'll be right back.
Diamonds flashing. Mind your business, nigga. Ain't nobody. Whole ass nigga. Stay Apex in your business. Diamonds flashing. Girls going wild, ecstatic. Yeah. She call me daddy, but she don't know her daddy. They blowing Reggie. It's cool, I'm stuck with Seti. Eat your veggies, can't be Lil Bo Peep, I'm ready. I'm ready. Niggas been fake when they met me. I've been a great when you met me. This a art gallery and you sketchy. I put on my cleats in a second. Keeping it healthy when he become wealthy. I don't know of a nigga that pressed me. I don't know a nigga that impressed me. Beat his ass till it's catchy. Bart popped up with a Maggie. I'm with the gang like Shaggy Fred. Slide out of nowhere, avalanche. With the Packers in Pakistan. You talentless nigga, you won't have a stand. Damn, I'm your pusher, man. For real, don't force my hand. Sitting on the porch with grams, like I ain't never sit on the porch with grams. This shit for the fans. What's that shit for? Defense. How you ain't support your mans, but you support the mans. Wrote my name in the sand. Diamonds flashing. Girls gone wild, ecstatic, yeah. She call me daddy, but she don't know her daddy. They blowing Reggie. It's cool, I'm stuck with City. Eat your veggies, can't be Lil Bo Peep, I'm ready. I'm ready. Niggas been fake when they met me. I've been a great when you met me. This all gallery and you sketchy. I put on my cleats in a second. Keeping it healthy when he become wealthy. I don't know of a nigga that pressed me. I don't know a nigga that impressed me. Beat his ass till it's catchy.
Hell to the gazelle.
All right, we back. That was catchy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Indeed
Bring
it
that a little bit
was.
closer. Yeah.
Catchy it was.
Hell yeah.
Catchy it is.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit more in depth as we go on.
All right.
About music and your music and the process in which you go through to do this.
To make the music and shit.
Yeah. So I was fucking with Apex a lot.
Word.
Yeah. One of the aside from Catchy,
Yeah.
I really liked Krillin a lot.
Yeah.
That shit went hard as fuck. And I want to know where your headspace was at while writing.
Shit.
And I didn't look at the credits, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He said shit.
Motherfucking, it's weird, man. With Krillin, first of all, shout out Trey 60 on the beat.
Cut the heat on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He had this beat playing, right? And me and Trey relationship be like, it's dope as hell, but it be weird dope. Like, so he played this beat every session he was playing this beat. Like, soon as his sessions would get done, he'd be playing some beats. So I was like, yo, when he played that shit, I was like, yo, shoot me that shit. Like, just shoot me it. So he already knows what time it is when I say that shit. Like, I could just do it right then and there, but I'm just going to have it in my mind. So, once again, got drunk one day. You know what I'm saying? And I remembered, oh, shit, this motherfucker
Drunk
said
off what? I mean, because that'd be
some
affecting the music.
IPAs, man.
Okay.
Some
IPAs.
IPAs.
Okay.
Fucking drunk off that shit. I'm like, yo, I remember that he sent me this beat, you feel me? So then I'm like, let me just go off on it. And me, I be punching in. So when the beat get me bouncing, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to take no time to write. I'm just going to. So I just went in on that shit. And most of the time when I was recording on Apex, it was like my homie Quan, he's a videographer, Quantity Cinematics. He would be on the couch just chilling, smoking. Like, that's how we do it and shit. But for that specific song, it was just like, the way the beat was hitting, it was like, all right, just go in and shit. But none of the words, I really didn't really plan that shit. It was just like the feeling. I just went in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
for real,
Line
for
by
real.
line, kind of coming up with it.
Yeah, like literally line by line, because it's like, what I call Apex is like ignorant music. You know how like times go by, seasons, and motherfuckers is waiting for Future to drop? Because they
Yeah.
want to hear
Yeah.
some ignorant,
Right.
they want to hear some real ignorant shit, but it be shit that motherfuckers be feeling like.
Oh, yeah.
So
For
that's
sure.
why I was like, all right, with Apex, it can't be like, it's just got to be ignorant. Like, it got to be like braggadocious. Like, if you mad and you listen to a track on there, you probably won't be mad anymore because that energy is going to transfer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But yeah, Krillin, that's how Krillin came about. A lot of tracks came about like just random.
Because, like, me personally, I have to write. Like,
Word?
I mean, sometimes you'll catch me, like, for instance, if I'm writing and it's my time to record,
Yeah.
and I'm missing, like, 4 bars, I'll do what I got, and then I'll punch in some lyrics off the dome.
Yeah.
I try not to do that.
Yeah.
Is Do you feel that way? Are you a writer first, or are you kind of like your best shit is gonna come whenever you're just thinking about it on the spot?
All right, so what happened with me was like it was me and my boy Troop, and I used to want to just like freestyle on the mic, like just go in, not stop and shit, just whatever, have the shit perfect. But I remember I did that shit a long time ago, and it never worked. Like probably when I was like 18. So like a couple years ago, I was at my crib. I was with my man Troop. I'm recording, but he listening to a beat like the next song, like because after I'm done recording, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna do his next song. But I'm talking out loud while I'm recording. I'm taking off the headphones. I'm like, damn, bruh. I should really just punch in. I never punched in. And I turn around, and he's like this, like listening to his own shit. So I was like, shit, it's now or never. I'm not about to go to the other side of the room, be like, yo, I should just punch. I'm not about to say that shit twice. I'm just about to do it.
Yeah.
So I started punching in, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm actually thinking of shit faster and thinking of different types of lines.
Steve said that on his episode. He was like, I don't write shit because I feel like I already missed like 5 or 10 punchlines that I could have been had, like with the pen in my hand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's like, now, like if somebody tells me do a verse or some shit, right? I realize when I go off the top, if you ask me to do a verse, I'll get that verse done, fume, and you gonna be the motherfucker still on the couch writing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That way I don't waste time. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be the motherfucker on the couch writing and, yeah, bro, I'm almost, like, I don't like that feeling. Like, I never did. You know what I'm saying? But I was a writer first. Yeah, I was a writer first. But it's like, to me, I think everything is off top. Even when I feel like you got to put something in your head, then you write it. So it's coming off the top. But I feel like when you punching in, or when I'm punching in, that's when I'm the most creative. Because a lot of my melody shit, I don't write it. I just do it off the top. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I do my hooks too. Like, if I hear one sound, the first sound, I'm like, all right, bet that's what I'm going with. Now, if I write a hook, oh, man, that's going to fuck up my head if I write a hook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just going to feel like too, like.
Oh, the words on the notes, the notepad, at least for me, it has started to feel more like a box.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm traditionally a writer by nature. Like, just anytime I'm writing lyrics, I feel like I always start by writing them down.
Yeah.
But recently, just from, you know, him and I trying new stuff, artists that I've been working with, you know, their process is kind of influenced. You know, maybe I should try it that way. And you know, it's definitely opened up my creative process for sure. But I can see both sides of the fence for sure. And I've started to, you know, appreciate the freestyle process more because of it. Although my inclination, or like my nature is always, you know, song format.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you go in there and freestyle, but I feel like at the same time, like, it can't be completely off the top to where, like, it doesn't even relate to what the song we're trying to do anymore.
Yeah.
I still believe in hooks and, like, you know, songs kind of relating to the overall message of the song and stuff. So if we can incorporate, you know, that process of, you know, spontaneity, but also structure at the same time, I feel like it always kind of makes a good product. But yeah, that writing stuff is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Do you record most of this stuff at the crib?
Shit, way back in the day I used to. But now, since I work at the studio and shit.
At In the Cut Studios?
Yeah, In the Cut Studio. Now, since I work at In the Cut Studios, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, if I record something at home, I might go a little harder, but then, like, my process used to be different. Like, when I used to do shit at home, it was, like, harder to me. But then, when I was in the studio doing it, like, Apex is damn near all of it is in that studio. And motherfuckers would be walking in and out, so I had to get used to that shit. Like,
yeah,
how to stay in the zone with motherfuckers. Not like I'm not used to it, but like it actually happening instead of like, yo, what if this would happen? When it was happening, I was like, all right, boom. And that's now I do better in the studio, but I gotta kind of like,
and
I don't even know, man. It's like weird. Like it's weird.
I feel like you're one of few guests who have another space to work in, if that makes so. For example, like I do a lot of my work from my home studio.
Yeah.
Sauce does a lot of his work from his home studio. Artists that we've had, even Steez, even though he works at Audiobox, records at home.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you feel like you are more productive knowing that, okay, I'm going to end the cut, I need to be the most productive I can be with my time there, so you end up being a better version of yourself because you're at work. Like literally your location has changed. I know like sometimes for myself, I have to be disciplined enough to say, like I said earlier, cut off the Xbox that's literally a reach away from my music desk.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be able to tell myself, okay, now I'm going to turn on the speakers, and what I'm doing on my computer is, you don't necessarily have to do that going to the studio.
Yeah, exactly. And that you're right. That is part of the reason like why I would go to the studio, or when I go to In the Cut and record over there, is because like you said, the Xbox. In my version, it's the PS4 or it's YouTube. It's motherfucking smoking a cigarette. It's rolling up and then rolling up again, and then being like, damn,
tobacco, of course.
I just rolled up. You know what I'm saying? And then being stuck there and shit. Whereas in the studio, if I'm rolling up,
you're also making beats.
all this shit's right here.
Yep.
So it's like, nigga, if you rolling up and you got the studio here, why aren't you doing anything?
And that's
you know
my ideal situation, man. I mean, like, you know, when you're doing all those activities and stuff, there's no place I'd rather do them in than in the studio. Like if I'm getting lit with friends, like, I mean, I like going to bars, cool and all.
Yeah.
Like there's a time and place for that. But my favorite place to turn up is in the studio.
Yeah.
Because I know personally I'm going to make, like just the people that I'm with. If I'm in the studio, like I know I'm there to work regardless of how lit or turn I get. I never get to the point where like I become useless and fall asleep in the studio or whatever. Like I'm a damn, you know, turn the fuck up, but also like make sure, like, bro, I'm the oldest motherfucker in Diamond Lab, and I can't tell you how many times I've driven to Charlotte at 8 in the morning, 3-hour drive. I had to wake up an hour before the shit just to get ready, drive to Charlotte, be in a 12-hour studio or 12-hour session, whatever, or just be at the studio for however long, then drive back at 2 in the morning, a 3-hour drive, and not have a nap. Well, you know, people else that I'm working with are taking naps on the couch.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm there to work, man.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
No matter how many, you know, cigars I've ingested, no matter how many drinks I've had.
Hell yeah.
You know, my goal is to work.
Pass the Adderall. It's time to go.
I realized too, like, because I never really went to clubs like that. I like probably went to a club, actually going to a club because my homies want to go.
Right.
But then it was like, now that I'm working at a studio, that shit is like the club. The bitches could come to the goddamn studio. Everything is there. You know what I'm saying?
And the environment's controlled. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. You don't like if you want the music turned down a little bit. Boom.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Anybody you don't want to be there ain't there.
Ain't there?
Yeah, facts. Like,
I don't know how many times I have some motherfuckers.
I look at it the same way, bro. That's crazy. Like, all the appeal of the club is literally at the studio, but the studio, you can choose who's there. You can create the vibes yourself. Like, that shit is
like, I be feeling
I
weird.
live for that shit.
I'm gonna be real. I be feeling weird. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's because of routine I had with my team when I was in PA. Like, we used to do shows, right? In PA, we would do a show at this place called Fenarios. It would be an open mic hip hop night. So boom, it would be battles, performances. What we would do is, like, after the show was done, motherfuckers would be like, yo, what y'all trying to do? Like, the other performers we don't know. Like, you trying to come to the studio or whatnot. So we'd continuous work. It would be continuous work. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now it's like,
almost like the work after party.
now I'll do a show and I'll be like, what y'all trying to do? about to go to this studio. Some people might have things to do, but then I'm like, this is the motherfucking after party, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The shit don't stop.
Yeah.
Like after the show, it's like, if you, I don't know.
I mean, and that's
I
a
don't know,
huge
man.
advantage for you. I mean, you having a place to say, where do y'all want to take this? Like, let's take this to my spot.
Yeah, but
we can record.
But I'm also the person that used to be in the streets with motherfuckers that lied to motherfuckers and said, yo, at 9 I gotta be back because of such and such, and really it was to be back to record or you know what I'm saying, to write. So it's like I've always like certain shit is just boring to me. Like certain shit, like I don't know. So it's like I always try to dip back to the studio or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like to have something going on. Like can't like I feel like if I spend too much time outside of the studio, then when I'm in the studio, it's gonna be foreign to me. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta balance it out. Like let's say I'm spending the whole day doing some other shit, then I like gotta spend the whole night doing this shit, just so that when I wake up, I'm not feeling like I'm falling off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The little weird ass thoughts and shit.
I've been going through that same exact shit. I was just having a conversation that, like, ever since I've gotten sober, the shit that I like to do don't interest me no more. Like, I think I only like to do that shit because I was drunk 24/7.
Yeah.
Now it's like the only shit I really, really want to do is create music and do this podcast.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that's on my mind 24/7.
Real
When I'm
talk.
at work, I don't want to be at work. I want to be here. I want to be fucking at Joe's or whatever I want to do. And I don't know if that definitely has something to do with me getting sober, but I think it also has something to do with like getting older and realizing like, if I want this, I got to do this.
Yeah.
If I go play a show, what am I doing after the show? I'm making more music to play at more shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, even in a simpler form, have you ever been out with friends? Like, friends, I mean, maybe music people, but people you kind of just are out with, and you just have this realization. There's one time I just had my drink in my hand and like, yo, what am I doing here?
Yo.
Like, and like I said earlier, I'm such an introspective person. Like, I'm always evaluating. And it's just like, at some point I realized, like, bro, like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't give a fuck about what this girl is saying. I don't give a fuck about what bro's got to say. I mean, I understand balance and stuff, but realistically, I would much rather be spending my time working on music or being around music in some form or capacity. Like, you know, I just realized that, you know, like, we always grow up saying, you know, time is money or don't waste time or, you know, this or that. I really realized in that moment, I'm wasting my fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here doing nothing, listening to people that I don't know, talk about shit that I don't give a fuck about. Why am I here?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I understand the balance. Like, maybe my purpose there is not really to care about these people or to even know what they're talking about. Maybe the purpose is just for me to relax and just be around shit that isn't music.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me in like in the same way like you're saying, but then in a music way too. Like I'd be somewhere and it's like, I don't know, this shit be fucking me up, but I'll be somewhere and then I have a whole like mindset of what I'm gonna do after, and then it's like I'll see that they not on the same type time, and that's when I be like, the fuck am I doing here? I should have just stayed at the studio, shouldn't have linked with these motherfuckers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you ever link with somebody for a cook up and you get to the cook up and nobody's cooking up?
Nobody's cooking up.
But like, it's different when it's your homies, but then it's like, you don't really know these motherfuckers and you're like, why was, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing here? Like, what's going on?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in that situation. I think me personally, I'm typically the person to be the icebreaker. I'm usually the one, you know, introducing myself to people like, yo, what kind of music you make and stuff like that to break the ice. But I've definitely been in those situations like, you know, why the fuck am I here? And but it's weird that, you know, you bring up, it even happens in your professional life too. You know, why am I hanging out with these people? Like, why? and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like,
yeah.
you know, they're doing their own shit, but it's like, you know,
What's the point?
what's the point? Or my time could be best served, you know, at a different cook up, or you know, collaborating with these people, like they fit my sound more, or they fit like the vision, or they
It's
just
like levels to it and shit.
absolutely. It's, I don't think it's, and it's not, to me, it's not ever a personal thing, but just where I see myself going and where I see myself, you know, today, or like just what I value and stuff. Like, you know, sometimes I'm gonna have to ask myself, why the fuck am I here? They don't value the shit that.
It's a law. You can't be super accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you are, then it was just like what we was talking about on the ride up here. Like, you gonna be the motherfucker that everybody know gonna be at that motherfucking
saturated.
place. Like, they don't even gotta guess. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
If if you make yourself too accessible, like we were talking about, you know, it even translates to, you know, how we grew up in music and bands and stuff. Like, if you're the band that plays at the brewery every Friday or every Saturday, you know, and you ask me, be like, yo, Marita, come out to my show, I'm gonna be like, maybe.
I've seen you 4 times in the last 3 weeks at the same spot, dude.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I can go next week and you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So you can't saturate.
Yeah, man.
You know, the market with yourself. You know, you gotta do that, you know, sparingly.
You've done it before. You ever did it and then been like, oh shit, I gotta back up.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's happened when, like, you know, I've worked with people too. It's like, you know, I'm all for collaboration, but every person that hits you up for loops ain't gonna be fire, and every person that sends you back that beat with the loop you send them ain't gonna be it. And, you know, in a nice way, I gotta be like, you know, hey man, that's fire. Like, let's keep working on this. Like, you know, send me the track without the 808s and I'll put some in key.
Well, I like my loop, but everything else is kind of trash.
I mean, it's the truth, man. I mean,
It's fire. Let's keep working on this.
but send me the track without 808s.
Yeah, that's fucking
Without
crazy.
Just send me the loop back and I'll make the beat
Yo,
again.
damn. What you say? Send the loop back, bro. It's over. Like,
Send the loop back, as
That
if you don't
shit
have
is
it on
crazy.
your computer.
I need you
Delete
to
it.
delete it.
Email it to me and delete it off your computer.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, before I started making loops, I was in the studio. I'm not gonna name the producer's name. We were going through somebody's loops and shit, and I was like, "Yo, I'm about to click on such and such." And the producer was like, "Nah, that nigga suck." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So when I be making loops, I'm like, "Damn." When I don't be hearing nothing back from certain producers, I be like, "That's what the fuck they saying when they going through."
Nah,
shit.
I don't think that's it, but sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, dude, look, man, like there are people in the Diamond Lab camp who you know, ask for loops often. You know, I send loops. Sometimes I don't hear things back. Sometimes I do. I mean, it's just the way it is, man. I don't take it any more personal that, you know, technically speaking, they're close to me and I should be, you know, collaborating with them more than anyone else. But
Who, Diamond Lab and shit?
yeah, but at the same time, you know, like, I can't control when they open the loops. I can't control if they use the loops, what loops they use, how they make the loops. You know, it's all on them at this point. The ball is in their court.
Yeah.
And the same thing with anyone else. But, you know, if I was dwelling on that, if I was living out my life as the loop guy and I just stopped making beats in order to, you know, supply people with loops, then I don't think I'd be as happy as I am.
I feel like that shit is harder than sending out beats, because at least it's a whole like thing. Like, because I ain't gonna lie, I be tracking motherfuckers, so I got certain apps that track for fucking emails and shit. So I'll see a motherfucker look through the loop pack like 6 times, and then if I'm looking for loops, I'll literally be scrolling in my shit and I'll be like, oh shit, such and such sent me a loop pack like 4 months ago, and I haven't used nothing from this pack, like, because I have so many loops from personal people from people that I actually fuck with, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be like, sometimes I may not even use, like, I'll use Marita's shit, right? And then such and such probably sent me some shit a week ago, but I got more of a relationship with Marita. It ain't a personal thing, but it's like you might choose certain shit over the other.
Well,
like,
I mean, dude, I'm not gonna, if I know you're dope,
yeah,
and you have a consistent good product, like the first thing I'm gonna do when I cook up is I'm gonna go to that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm experimenting or I'm taking the time to go through all my loops, then that's when I'll do that. But like I'm trying to get the creative process going, and if I know I can get inspiration from someone I've gotten inspiration from before, then I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be my, my go-to choice.
The move, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's never anything personal, but it's just the internet shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm sure there have been plenty of relationships of, songs, beats, whatever being created over the internet, but it's just on a level in which more producers and artists can relate to.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to work with someone that you've met and it's trusted and guaranteed that the work that they have is going to speak for themselves. I mean, that's why you're going to open that email before some random person.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how it'll happen, even if you, like, even if you
like
send off
beats too,
beats.
though.
Yeah, if you send off beats to somebody, they're going to open your pack.
They're going to open the pack, but they also have producers that they've already bought beats from before. They already have people on the label that, are saying, hey, take the beat from this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they have A&Rs that have, producers that they try and push. So when the A&R comes to the session, they slide the, engineer USB or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many factors, I think, that go into someone choosing your loops or someone choosing your, your beat or whatever, that you really can't dwell on that shit.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, that, like,
Should be floating, man.
Absolutely. I mean, you have producers who are friends with engineers. So like, if Trey 60 said, hey man, I see you got a session with so-and-so today, can you play some of these beats for him? You're absolutely going to do that before, Joe Blow, who just, you just met on the internet, a few days ago. I mean, you're absolutely going to do that. And anybody's going to do that.
Hell yeah.
So
can we fall back for 2 seconds? I've been quiet because I've been wanting to ask this ever since you said it.
What?
You said you got trackers on people through your email and you can see how many times they open the files?
Yeah, because like...
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
It's called mail track. So it's like when you send certain emails, you can track to see if they opened it or not. You know what I'm saying? I only got it because I'm sending out so many emails and so many motherfuckers are asking me for packs. And then sometimes I get pissed when I don't hear nothing back and it's like pointless. You know what I'm saying? Also, for me to be like, if a motherfucker's like, yo, send a pack, I'm looking back at the shit like, bro, you ain't even open up the last one, bro. I'm not about to send another pack to you.
I didn't even know that was a thing. What's the name of that app so I can go ahead and get that?
It's mail track, but you got to do it like online. Like you got to go to Google, type in mail track, then you do it through there. It ain't an app, but they do have other trackers and shit. But that shit has helped me before because I ain't gonna cap. I literally thought when I was sending out beats that motherfuckers wasn't listening until I sent shit to like Offset and them. It said they opened the email, shit to fucking Davies, fucking a bunch of people. And I was like, damn. So these motherfuckers been opening motherfuckers shits. It's just motherfuckers don't know.
Yeah.
So when you see that shit, you'll be like, all right, like I'm going down the right path. Even if they didn't choose it.
Could that be a double-edged sword though? Like, do you ever get discouraged, like seeing it be opened and it was like open like a month ago and you still haven't heard anything?
Yeah, but those dudes, man, they get in the studio. And
not really, because like if you stay stuck to it, like if you stay stuck on it on some shit, like if you stay stuck on it on some shit, like like I'ma just focus on if they opened it or not. Then you could become obsessed with it, like, oh, you opened it up like last month, how come you didn't use anything? But then there'd be times too where I've tested it with myself where I'll click an email right now and then it'll probably show me like some weird shit sometimes, like you open it at this time and that's not really the totally correct. So it's like you just gotta send shit and not really focused on it. Like, track it so that when it pops up, oh shit, he actually read the shit. But don't stay focused on that same email. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just do the shit, like, for real. And I track it so that I remember who I actually sent shit to. Because sometimes I'll send somebody some shit, and then when, yo, just went on your jaunt, and then they send me the file back, I'm like, damn, I forgot I even sent that pack out. So just to keep everything in order, you know what I'm saying?
You ever had producers come out of pocket and ask you for emails?
Yeah, bro. I've had
What do you mean?
a motherfucker straight up ask me, like, straight up, like, you got any emails?
Right.
Oh,
so
like a list of emails to send to people?
right.
give to
so
them.
as a producer,
Oh, God.
you know, it's not readily available to you to be just emailing artists. Somehow, you know, sometimes, you know, through circles or whatever, you can get emails through, maybe an artist will post it on their Instagram.
Yeah.
Or maybe an artist, like an A&R or some shit locally, you know, it's like, hey, man, so-and-so's looking for beats, send them some beats or whatever. I mean, I know in my experience, like, there have been emails spread around in, like, group chats that I've been in.
Yeah.
But the etiquette is, like, yeah, I mean, at least, like, you know, having a relationship with somebody before, like, you ask them if they have any emails.
I'm going to be real, man. That's something I'm not going to ask nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
personally, yeah, me neither. I'm
That's weird.
never going to ask anybody.
Because you already know that, like, the whole reason why you asking that shit. Like, you know, if, like, when I got asked that shit, I'm going to be real. I gave the motherfucker emails that when they click on the motherfucker's profile, the email's right there. I'm not giving you the shit when the motherfucker came in at 4 a.m. and said, yo, by the way, bro, here's my email that I don't give out to each and every person in this world. Like, I'm not giving you that email. You ain't worked to come to the studio late night. You ain't even make beats like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you. I'm not trying to put nobody on blast, but I'm asking you for loops. You sending me Looperman loops. Why am I going to give you emails, bro? You're not even taking yourself serious with this situation. Like,
or
you know what I'm
splice
saying?
loops.
Yeah, or splice loops.
It's
Like,
like, bro, let me stop. Man.
yeah, man.
People will rip off splice loops and send them
Yeah,
and be
man.
like, this is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that shit.
That is shiesty.
Yeah, they'll do that shit. So it's like, all right, then when you see that shit in your email, then it's like common sense. All right, if they did that to them, what they gonna do to you? If you give emails and all that shit, like, I know motherfuckers I've given an email before and they've credited me on a beat that I didn't do just because I gave them the email. Not everybody gonna do that.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
hard.
saying? So it's like, it's just different. Some people just want the, you know what I'm saying? They just want the shine, or they want to get that placement. You know what I'm saying?
People are fucking weird, dude. That would have never even crossed my mind. First of all, it would never cross my mind to ask for a personal email.
Yeah.
Somebody else's personal email, not
Yeah.
even theirs.
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask you for your email.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like, hey man, what's Offset's boy's email?
Yeah.
it's not
Shit
gonna-
like that.
I'm not gonna do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got people that can get shit to people, but I don't even ask them for them emails. I just know, okay, we'll work on something. You send it to them. Like, I leave it like that because I don't like to step on nobody's toes. That's number one. And then number two, like, I don't want you feeling no type of way. You know what I'm saying? I be analyzing a lot of shit, even when I don't want to. It just be happening. So it's like, I'm not really asking nobody for emails and shit. Like, that's just, and you can find them shits. Like, if you really, like, most people just be on their phones all day, but don't even know most of the shit you can find. Like, you haven't heard of LinkedIn. You never heard of none of these shits. Like, just motherfucking do some research, or, you know what I'm saying?
LinkedIn,
stay up
Twitter.
late night. If you're not doing nothing, literally stay up late night and go on Twitter. Like, or go on Instagram, and motherfucker, they gonna put up a story with it.
Or follow an A&R. I mean, like, I know a pretty big A&R is Bearline.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and she'll hit up some of the dudes in Diamond Lab or whatever, and, you know, share some emails every
Hell
now
yeah.
and then. You know, if you're supposed to have the email, you'll have it.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to have the phone number, you'll have it.
Yeah.
There's no need to be, you know, asking people for personal shit like that. I mean, that's why I said earlier, you know, I don't rush shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm meant to work with a person, I'll do it. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, there are definitely people I want to work with, and the sense of urgency gets high, but never to the point where I'm,
where you like OD on some shit.
Fucking thirsty for that shit.
Yeah, because like there's even motherfuckers back then that used to charge for shit like that. Email list.
They do it today.
Yeah. But like email list 25 or 50, and it's like, bro, by the time you get that email pack, bro, they're using another email, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that, or
there's all kinds of hustles out there trying to get people in the stew.
Yeah, the managers and the A&R guys right now are charging producers to get placements or a possible placement. Hey man, send me your beat and I'm gonna be in the studio with Lil Toilet Bowl later tonight, and he might hop on your beat. Like, so you want me to pay you to possibly this guy hop on my beat, or I could take this beat and work with someone in person and create a song that I know is going to be good, as opposed to someone possibly hopping on the beat. That doesn't really make much sense to me. But I mean,
if you got the bread to blow, I mean, I figure it couldn't hurt. But I mean, if you're talking about artists, starving artists is not just a cliche.
But but I don't think people should be able to capitalize on people's dreams. It's like we were talking about earlier. There's no shortcut to this shit. Paying $250 for a placement that doesn't turn out to be a placement because you get scammed or whatever.
Yeah, that shit weird.
That's. I mean, it sucks, and it's like, if you got the bread to blow, why not risk $250 on the stock market, or why not invest it, or why not buy the lottery ticket?
Are you talking about when artists talk about, oh, you got to pay me for that weird shit?
Or artist, A&R, whatever, just to get the beat, you know what I'm saying? Like, to get it placed or whatever. Or like, even
but them motherfuckers, what they need to, man, producers get the most money at the end of the day. So you're still fucking yourself, even if you want somebody to pay for a placement. Like, you can get dropped as an artist, you can't get dropped as a producer.
Right. I mean,
that's never happened in the history of anything. No producer has ever been dropped, ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when artists try to like, or A&Rs, it's like, you don't realize you fucking with the core, the motherfucker that's still gonna be here 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, still gonna be in these studios. Like, you may not even have your job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You might not even be making music that people listen to.
Yeah.
Producers still going to be, working with new artists, be a part of the new wave, or, whatever, still be in the music.
And we are the A&Rs now, because it's a lot of A&Rs that'll tell you something ain't a hit, right? And then, what was D saying? It's like, they'll tell you like, yeah, this ain't it. And then you'll play that same beat in another studio, and they'll be around, and they'll be like, this is it. It's like, bro, you just said it wasn't it. Like,
right.
Y'all motherfuckers don't be knowing what y'all talking about.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
If you look at T-Pain, Snoop Dogg told him auto-tune's the gimmick. That shit gonna work for 2 songs.
That's what he told him?
Yeah.
Usher told him he fucked up music for everybody.
Yeah.
And then T-Pain kept getting booked, and Usher wasn't getting.
And then Usher went and recorded OMG with auto-tune on it. Bruh. That's what I'm saying, man. And I've come to like T-Pain more after like all of this shit, because he went broke off this shit and then came back and got it back, you know what I'm saying? And then like, if that is not the epitome of people will tell you what to do, people will give you their opinion, and you have to believe in yourself, then I don't know what is. Because that man believed in himself and said, you know what, I'm going to take this auto-tune thing further. Thanks, Snoop Dogg, for your opinion. Thanks, Usher, for your opinion. And then bro, what do people use now all the time?
Yeah.
On my recording track, I have auto-tune on it every time.
Which is so crazy, because it's like, we talk about shit like trying to cancel people. Motherfuckers never talk about how bad they try to cancel T-Pain. Like, Nas made a whole Nas and Jay-Z, the death of auto-tune and all that. And just to be real, like, not just because it's on camera, this is how I talk all the time. Them motherfuckers were jelly that somebody was doing something that wasn't hip-hop and getting more numbers or getting more spins than them at the time, even with their rank and the fact that they've proven that they could stand higher than T-Pain, they still felt some type of way because he innovated with that shit. Auto-tune always been around, but the motherfucker was just like, all right, I'm going to do my shit. Then he fucked them up even more when they realized the nigga can actually sing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what the fuck is you saying to this man? Like, you can't say nothing. You
Absolutely
know what I mean?
not.
Like,
can I say shit to that man?
Yeah, that's how it be every time something new. Like, you know when people say mumble rap, like we don't like that. So what happened when the motherfucker was saying the hop hop hippity hop hop, the hippity hippity hop hop? What were you listening to?
Yep.
That was worse than what people are doing now. But that is considered mumble rap. You know what I'm saying? People will say, oh, I don't like Young Thug, but then they'll play some reggae music and they'll hear wow and all this other stuff, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I love it, but I don't like Young Thug, bruh. He's Haitian, bruh. The same stuff that's going, like, it just
that was
recreates
my
itself.
example too. Was Young Thug, because a lot of people are like, yeah, I hate these mumble rappers, you know, speaking on like Lil Uzi and like the newer gang.
Yeah, man.
But those are the same people that are gonna throw on old Young Thug back when he was doing the fucking shit with Travis Scott and all that. That shit was hard, and you can't deny it. And that's mumble rap.
Future.
Yeah, Future for sure.
I mean, people don't give Future the respect that he deserves, but I mean, he is really one of the GOATs. He you know, also took that auto-tune sound, but like to a new level. Like I think I watched a video of like one of his engineers, like they were playing around with just making the auto-tune on like one note, 2 notes. And it's like, yeah, bro, crazy, but that makes sense listening to his sound, like that almost like monotone, but there's also melody there at the same time kind of shit. Like he went and took auto-tune and made it into an instrument. And I just feel like, you know, while he could be mumbling, there's some shit you don't know that he's talking about. He's always talking about, you know, drugs and bitches and shit. Like,
I feel like when it comes, this is how I always looked at mumble rap. Them motherfuckers is hard because they found out another way to say certain shit in a way where like certain people stick to certain formats. Like when you go to Pennsylvania and shit, and motherfuckers start rapping like this and rapping like that, going down the street, you're like, all right, that's Philly shit. Then you see Lil Uzi, and then ask him where he's from. Philly. He don't rap like that. He used to rap like that, but his shit was different. You know what I'm saying? It's like it'd be a lot of different stuff with mumble
and Uzi
rap.
can rap too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he can. And it's like, even I remember I told my cousin one time, this was like, it was before Thug and Future did a tape. I forget what tape was out. I think it was the shit is a blue cover, and it's with DJ Esco. It's like when him and DJ Esco came back.
Talking about Future?
Yeah.
The blue shit.
Where it's
I know
like,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
it's got like a
remember.
little alien face or whatever, and then it's got. So when that shit came out, he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thug ain't touching Future. So I told him, I was like, listen, bro, Future is dope. I fuck with Future. I said, but you about to have to swallow your pride with that one, because Thug do melodies that some motherfuckers don't even, you know what I'm saying, they don't even know about. Like you never even heard it or some shit. Like he did some shit.
He's got music that like you'll listen to it for the first time and be like, okay, that's hot, that's fire. And then you'll go back and listen to it some more and be like, yo, this shit right here is on I didn't even get it the first time. Like, and I'm not even talking about wordplay or anything. I'm just talking about the music in general. Like the shit that Young Thug just put out, Slime Language 2. On the deluxe shit.
Yes.
Like
bruh.
Liddy with him and DaBaby. Like the vibes of that song alone, like that's pop star status. That's like when I listen to that song, I think of Journey for some reason. Not that it's gonna make everybody think that way, but it's just it feels bigger than hip hop to me. And like his music has been like that, but also like just the way he says shit too is like he takes the English language and turns it into something that you know, it's not proper. Like books that I read on songwriting about pop, you know, make sure you have good grammar, make sure that what you're saying is you know, this or that. You know, that applies to an extent, like if we're like listening to Britney Spears or some shit. But in hip hop, you know, Young Thug has created a whole lane, a whole career for himself off of, you know,
You ever
listening.
You ever have that one friend that like, or that one person that you know that like you understand, but not everything that they say you're like, you definitely understand what they saying, but then not everything they saying is coherent, but you understand what they saying. But then the other people, it's kind of like my pops, right? Since he's straight from Africa, I don't hear an accent, but anytime somebody comes to my house and meets him, what is he, Jamaican or whatnot? And then there's even times in my family where my aunt may not know what he's saying, but I've always knew what he said. Like when somebody's like, what? When he's talking, it gets me upset because I already know what he's saying. That's why when I was defending the thug shit, I'm like, bro, you don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know. You used to hearing Future, but you're not used to listening to some, you're not used to understanding some shit that you're not supposed to like, I don't know how to explain this shit.
I feel like, to me, I relate it to like, have you ever been around babies or kids? Like
Yeah.
the parent knows what they said.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck did you just say? Yeah. You understood that shit?
Yeah.
That did not sound like words to me. Like kind of thing. I mean, I would equate it to that, you know, I mean, you just, or like my mom's from a third world country. Like I don't hear an accent on her until all my friends are like, you know, where's she from? Like blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that shit
be weird though, because it's like, that's how I look at thug shit. Like there was a song I was listening to on the Deluxe, and the whole song he had the same melody, and then one time he did this one melody. You probably know which song I'm talking. He's like, diamonds on my chain, diamonds on my and then he do this one melody where he's like, I actually looked up the lyrics and he says clean the cookie off, but he goes clean the cookie off, try with this guy, and I was like, bro, that melody is from some commercial back in the day, bro. I don't know what commercial that shit, like, or it's from some old ass song that motherfuckers don't like to listen to, that motherfuckers look at as corny. I don't know where that melody from, but it's from.
I wonder if that's a thing. Like how often an artist will make a conscious decision. Yo, I liked that melody I heard on the Febreze commercial. Let me use that melody, but put my own words to it. Like, I mean, so for example, I don't know how up to date you are with like, I guess, pop music. But there's a girl out named Olivia Rodrigo, and she has that TikTok song called Driver's License. Something is something. Down my lonely street or something like that. So she also has another song that sounds just like, do you know who Paramore is? Something like that. So Olivia Rodrigo has a song that's literally the same melody. Like I was like, yo, this song sounds like Paramore. It's even in the same key. I could literally sing Paramore lyrics over this bitch's song, and it's the same shit. You know, it's like, did she consciously do that? Did she say, you know what, I fuck with this melody so hard, I'm gonna use this in my own song?
I'm sure that happens way more often than you think.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, I wonder how often it's a conscious decision to say, I'm gonna take this melody. Because I mean, you can't really, it's a gray area. I mean, you can't really, because like, okay, you got Pharrell and Robin Thicke who got sued for, you know, that song that they made, the vibe was too close to a Marvin Gaye song.
Well, that's a whole fucking vibe.
But
that's different than like a little melody and then going back to
I don't know,
original.
man, because that song makes me feel like Paramore. I feel like I'm listening to Paramore when I hear this Olivia Rodrigo song. Damn. And it pisses me off because I'm like, yo, they took out the damn Paramore girl song. But anyways,
it's weird to think that in this day and age you can get sued over a vibe, though.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's
right
scary.
There.
It's scary for all of us.
He's guilty.
That's my vibe. That's Paramore vibes. You owe me 100%.
It's scary for all of us, man. If someone like Pharrell can get sued for that and lose. Pharrell's one of the greatest producers of our time.
Yeah.
And he can get sued and lose? That's scary. I mean, he probably was. Like, so what they found out was like...
Well, Robin Thicke was the one that fucked it up.
Well, no,
him?
what fucked it up for them is that they... Apparently in court it came out that they had been listening to a lot of Marvin Gaye prior to the record. And that's... Okay, well, you know, if you believe that we're a collection of all the sounds we've ever heard, then any song that I make is going to be, you know, a vibe of XXXX us artist, whatever artist, you know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
Drake, please don't sue me and the rest of your sons for all the shit we've been ripping off of you for 10 years, please.
Yeah.
Right, or any other artist.
Yeah, because that shit get tricky sometimes, man. Because motherfuckers, like, gotta realize.
Have you ever been recording somebody and they steal somebody's flow or they steal somebody's lyrics?
Yo.
Ding, 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 we struck a chord.
Especially when you're the motherfucker that they know for, like, I've had people, yo, you made DOA for Set It Up. Yo, this is my favorite song. Then you start recording with me and sound like the motherfucker that you found me from. What the fuck? And then you're even doing the ad libs. And it's like, bro. And then one of their friends hops in. Then this motherfucker copying Wanna Set It Off homies. Then I'm like, what the fuck? But y'all don't know this man. I'm like, yo, they got their own style. Y'all got.
I feel like a lot of Carolina people are trying to copy that sound, the punch in, like almost off time kind of shit.
You know when grinding came out, like grinding from the clips.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was doing this on the lunch tables,
Yeah,
right? Motherfuckers probably wanted to make beats, but everybody was doing this. It's like now there's certain motherfuckers. Fuck that. I gotta say this shit. There's certain motherfuckers that don't make music at all, right? But it's like my first template is gonna be this motherfucker. So let's say I want to be a producer. I'm not gonna put in the work. I'm just gonna watch Marita. I'm gonna make my tag sound like Marita's.
Oh damn.
I'm gonna buy a guitar, but I'm not even gonna use this shit. I'm gonna let my fucking Uncle Jimmy play the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a motherfucking put the chords together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna copy Marita. But then if you tell me, yo, that sound like, nah, this my style, man. This my vibe. That's what's going on now. Like,
but your tag is, ayo, that's my friend, Venom.
Yeah, right?
Like what?
That shit crazy, bro. Like, I've done sessions where people have done that. And then I was like, damn, I wanted to tell them, like, yo, you know, but it's like, bro, I know you know, so I ain't got to tell you. But then the sad part, I'd be like, you're not going to get nowhere with none of that shit. Like, we had 3 hours now. You just wasted all this time to sound like a whole nother motherfucker.
And you know, it's crazy because, like,
paid all this fucking money, man.
I think, well, right. And as the producer first, like, man, I don't want you to waste your money.
Yeah.
Like we've been here for 3 hours. You done paid X amount of money for the session. Like, and then on top of it, like the conversation we had earlier, then they're going to have the audacity to ask me at the end of the session, yo, you fucking with it? Yeah. Like, what? Bro, what do you mean am I fucking with it? Am I fucking with someone else's song that you just redid on the microphone here? Like, this ain't your style. This is not your flow. This is not you. I know you're not the motherfucker talking on the track.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you're asking me, do you fuck with it? Come on now.
That'd be the like, it's like weird because it's like kind of psychology with this music shit. It's like once somebody does that, then I already know like they be lost.
Yep.
Like mentally in a certain type of way, I'd be like, yeah, they lost. You about to be the one that when you in the studio, I hate this too. You about to be the one in the studio that's about to put yourself on live in the studio or have a whole story going like this, and I'm looking, telling you, yo, you ready? Yeah, hold on. Like, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it's shit like that, it gets kind of like.
Or I need to get a little clip right here. I need to get a little snippet. But bro, we're in the middle of recording, like or that and the whole that shit. Oh my god.
He said, bro,
we're in the middle of recording. It's like, dude, what? And then on top of it, you know, afterwards, they're gonna ask me, "You fucking with it?"
Nah. That's the question.
Like,
man.
bro, it doesn't matter what I think. Like, this is your music. This is supposed to be your music. Like, do you fuck with it? I mean, because me, if I tell you the truth, then you're not gonna fuck with it anymore. Like, I need to know that you like it, and like, I'm gonna help you make a product you like. Yeah. I'm not one of the engineers who are gonna sit here jaded and like. Just like, okay, that's what you had prepared. Okay, cool. I recorded it. Good. I'm going to leave it out of time because you don't know how to play with a metronome. I mean, to me, it's still something I'm working on, so I still feel compelled to make it the best it can be.
And you said that the dude said, damn, I was just trying to see what you thought, right?
Yeah.
I've said it in, I've said it in a way where, like, really was nothing left to be said after it, and I've gotten a, well, damn, niggas look up to you, man. And I was like, bro, you're making this shit worse, man.
Yeah.
You're making this shit worse every time I'm telling you.
Well, then if you look up to me, bro, you'll take my advice then. I mean, because that's my thing. It's like, look, man, if you asking me if I fuck with it, and you're asking me that from a place in your heart that you know, you trust me, and you hold and you respect what I'm about to say, and that's the only reason you're asking me this, then I will tell you how I feel. But if you're asking me if I fuck with it because you genuinely want to know if I fuck with it, you should not have asked me that question. I mean, but it's the truth. It's different. It's different if you and I are working on music because I'm actually
on the track,
making the beat. Of course, I'm fucking with it, or else I would have stopped it a long time ago and been like, "Nah, this beat ain't it. Let's work on something else." Or nah, that ain't it. Let's work on something else. But if I'm working on somebody else's music and you're asking me if I fuck with it, like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter.
Have you ever been in a session with him?
Yeah, I've recorded with him.
Yeah.
And that's why I know exactly what he's talking about because I didn't ask him.
Has he ever hit you with this song fucking sucks?
Nah, I haven't.
No. He does it out of just like trying to like keep you in check. Yeah. He doesn't really mean it.
Yeah.
You'll get done with a run. He'll stop it. You're about to punch him. He'll be like, "This shit's dog shit."
Yeah, so that you could keep doing it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, we'll get hype, and then like, yo, this shit's getting fire. I'm like, nah, it's just dog shit. just so you know, we stay grounded.
Hell yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I like to play around, but also, like, I'm not gonna say that to anybody and everybody. You know?
Yeah, I guess it just seems natural to me, just because that just sounds like Xbox talk to me. Like,
yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, you and I have that, you know, kind of relationship and humor and comedy and stuff, but you know, not everybody, you know, treats stuff that way. So like, for example, I mean, just as an example off the wall here, like you know, Aiden Ross or that.
Yeah.
You know, Polo G, he did a prank on Polo G or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, he's like, dude, that's just not funny, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's just funny. So me personally, like in a studio session where we were talking about this earlier, our artists are already insecure about their music regardless of what they're saying on the microphone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go in here and tell somebody that I just started working with or whatever, yo, this song fucking sucks. And they don't know that I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? So
just like projecting this into the future and what I want for my life and what I want for all of us, dude. If we ever are in a situation where we are in a like studio with a big name, you have to say it to him. If we're in the studio with Gucci, you got to tell him his bars suck.
Dude. Yeah.
What?
No, he's just the way basically the way he does it to me. I want to see him do it to a bigger.
So you want to see my career end is what
I've scared the fuck out of a celebrity just by wearing this shit.
Yeah?
Yeah, in ATL, like they go, "Oh, what's that?" I tell them. Then I put it on next go round, 2 hours pass. put it on the fucking, I put it on the table. Y'all get that away from me, y'all. Like what the fuck? And I'm looking at this motherfucker like, motherfucker, you be popping like 50 million pills and drinking lean and shit. What the fuck you scared of this shit for, bro?
Why was he scared of it?
I don't even know, bro.
Was it the stone and like the energies and shit?
It was the stone, and when I described it to him, he was like, what did he say? He was like, so it's kind of like drugs. And I was like, no. It's not
the opposite.
That's when I knew he was going to take shit a different way. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell? That was like our first time in ATL, like working with motherfuckers. Like,
hell yeah. And I think one thing too that I learned to realize is that, like, I don't know, man. I feel like most producers that are around me right now, yeah, I would say all of them are like people I feel like I can have intelligent conversations with. Whereas artists, it could be a range of people. It could be someone like, you know, who probably is, you know, could be open-minded enough to talk about, you know, energies or things like that and kind of understand where you're coming from. Whereas like someone who, you know, is I would say maybe the stereotypical rapper and, you know, is only concerned with material things such as, you know, turning up or going to the club or, you know, maybe is not on that same wave where they're, you know, thinking in
shit. There was a church dude that was my session the other day. He raw as hell. I knew this motherfucker was a church dude. Like, not that it's a bad thing, but I just know how that be going and shit.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shaman in the session. You know what a shaman is, right?
Yeah.
But
another spiritual figure of some sort.
This motherfucker told him his whole fucking life that same night. The shit changed the motherfucker. I don't even think the motherfucker gonna be in church no more because the motherfucker told him his whole life what's happening to him, all this shit. The motherfucker started crying. I'm turning around. I'm supposed to be doing the session for this motherfucker. I turn around. My session's crying. I'm gonna kill them motherfuckers. I swear to God. No. Just let go of the past. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Dude,
I got something for you if you want to change your mind on the world, dude. It's called LSD.
Yeah.
And that shit will put you on a new plane of thinking, dude. I used to do it a shit ton when I was younger, and it changed the way I looked at life.
Word.
And anytime, like, even as I've gotten older, I don't care. I'll let them know, dude. This shit don't bother me. If I'm faced with like hard decisions and like not being able to cope with certain things, I will take LSD to figure it out.
My boy Trip does that. He'll do that like let's say he'll release a tape or a project for a certain celebration or like to see into deeper things. He'll take that shit. Like he'll take it, and it's not like he just going wild with it. Like he do it because it opens up different gateways and shit for him to see certain shit.
It's a spiritual thing for him. It's not like a turn up. And
it's not a turn up thing, dude. If you're using it to turn up,
people use
using
shrooms for that stuff too.
Yeah, this motherfucker has told me.
It's like a reset.
He's told me it's a number of people around you. I don't know who, but these motherfuckers are after you. And then as time progressed, he was right, but we just couldn't put faces to it. And as time progressed, we started putting faces to it.
I mean, that's almost some Miss Cleo shit, though. Like, generalizing it to the point where, okay, duh. I mean, there are always people after you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I don't discredit spiritual shit. So, even though I said that's Miss Cleo-esque, you know, I'm not going to say that shit's not in the cards, too. I mean, no pun intended. But, you know, I have heard of people, you know, people close to me running into people who are like, you know, can see into the future or palm readers or mind readers or, you know, I'm not equating those to shamans or whatever. I'm just saying it's people who claim to be able to, you know, see details of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and they had a moving experience or that, and they're like, yeah, this person helped me, you know, realize that this was going on in my life and this or that. So, you know, I definitely acknowledge the power of spirituality and things like that for sure. But I don't care who the fuck you are. You tell me that my life is going to be this way and my life is going to be that, and this is what I've experienced and blah, blah, blah. Even if you're right about most of it, I'm not going to let one person's
Yeah.
thing like radically change my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of scary if you're a person that's just like, oh, like it's like when I was in college, I used to meet motherfuckers who would be like, yeah, I'm a biology major, this or that, and then like we get to talking, and it's like, yeah, well, I read this book, and now they're the fucking expert on it.
Oh, you talking about that extremist type shit?
Well, just like, I mean, in general, if you're a person who lets the first thing that come into your mind completely mold your view and your opinion of that, then you're a follower. You're not crafting your own thing. Like if that shaman were to tell me this is how your life is going to be and this is what you've experienced, I'm keeping my eyes open, I'm keeping my mind open, I'm keeping my ears open, and I'm figuring out, okay, if that person sees this based on what they can do, how can I either make that happen or avoid that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna like go ahead and craft my lifestyle around it or some shit.
And I think it fucked them up even more because church is a whole ceremony for that shit. So when somebody just walked up to him and was just like, let me heal you, then knew about shit that he's going through, that he probably was like, damn, we wasting gas to go to fucking church. We doing all this other shit, and this motherfucker know about. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look, I grew up in church. I was raised a Catholic, and then early on, like since kindergarten, I was going to a private school. From kindergarten all the way to 5th grade, I was going to a Christian school.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the Christian faith. I was reciting Bible verses, remembering Bible verses, and a lot of the stuff in the Bible, I mean, I feel like helped me establish morals as a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, there are just some things that I feel like okay, yeah. I mean, whether you believe that there's a God that created the earth instead of science, blah blah blah, this that is not really relevant to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that there is a God and a higher being, but I'm also not the type of person who's going to push that on other people just because I believe what I believe. I'm not going to ask people to, believe that shit, and I think for that guy's reason, if you grow up in the church, you do kind of grow up a little bit, sheltered, believing that this is the way to live and, other people should be living this way. And then you find out someone who is not only more open-minded than you, more enlightened than you, who doesn't even practice the same faith as you. That's scary. And then that makes you challenge everything that you've ever known. So, with that in mind, like I said, anytime someone puts some wisdom on me, I feel like I can learn from anybody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care, what your profession is or whatever. Experience is the real teacher in life. I mean, I've read tons of books. I've watched tons of YouTube videos on this or that, but I never really learned anything about that subject until I put my hands on it. And experienced it.
For real, man. That's true though. That's definitely true.
Yo, question for you. I had requested this earlier. Can we watch And the People watch Kwame Brown real quick?
I was going to put that on the end.
Okay, cool. Never mind then. Let's do it at the end.
What does that number say right there on that camera? Not the one on the right, the one on the left.
107:37. Wait.
Is it like 1 hour and something?
Yeah, it might be.
1 hour and 7 minutes, 42.
Okay, well we got a little bit until his batteries die and we hit the ending mark. I want to ask you because I don't know you from Adam. I've never really met you or talked to you.
Yeah.
You so far in this conversation, you've mentioned a few times that you've moved from Pennsylvania and already had a career in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So, why even come down here? If
well, the mortgage on my crib was getting like too crazy with my people, so they decided it would be cheaper to move down to North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we initially came down here for. But this was like, in a sense, it was like since the mortgage went up and I've been moving my whole life, it was kind of like my pops and my mom's like last stop. It's like, all right, this is going to be the last place, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's really why. But I had a choice to stay, but it was more so like I said, I've been moving my whole life. So if I stay in one place for a long time, like even right now, I feel like I need to go somewhere else because it's been like probably like 5 or 6 years I've been here. But I mean, that's just how I am. I'm always on the move and shit, but that's literally the only reason why we came here, because of the mortgage situation.
So you've been here. You said you've been here 5 or 6 years. How old were you?
Shit. Okay, hold on. No, it's got to be, 6. No, it's got to be 7, because I'm 30 now, so I was 23. So I came here 2013, 14, in the middle of that type shit.
And then, so you were already making music.
Yeah.
Where does In the Cut, or I'm sure when you got there,
shit.
I'm sure when you got there it was still Stovetop, right?
Yeah, so Stovetop, how that whole shit started, we ended up going to Stovetop as producers, like me, Joey Bars, Narrative Baby, Trey 60, and T Hooks. And then what happened was we kept linking with artists. I don't know if you heard of Cloudy Nueve.
Yeah, R.I.P. man, big R.I.P.
So Cloud, my man Cloud, used to be stopping through. Him and his cousin Ty Norte used to stop through and shit. And then once Ty kept coming through, then Ty got in cahoots with Stovetop as being one of their artists or whatnot. Like he was one of the artists. Cloud kept coming through and shit. So then motherfuckers just started like holding studio time upstairs and shit. Where we at now and In the Cut, like downstairs, that was just like a part of the garage. So that kept happening. Then, you know what I'm saying, eventually Stovetop got tired of doing sessions for artists because shit would keep getting crowded and a whole bunch of shit would happen. So they decided to make it just an exclusive studio for their label. Then some shit happened with their label. That shit stopped rolling. So then Trey was still at that studio, but before, while this label shit was going on with them, he was doing studio time in Greensboro. So he was engineering in Greensboro. He came back to Stovetop. He started running the studio. Now, when Corona hit, before Corona hit, I was recording people from my crib, and then Narrative was recording people at the vault. So once Corona hit, literally, I'm like, all right, shit, fuck that. I ain't letting nobody in my crib to record. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, how am I going to make this money? And then Narrative, it's like he could record people, but they had to have so many requirements, like masks, gloves, all this other shit, which he would do. But then some people were so scared that they didn't even book no time. So the money was getting scarce. So I was like, yo, why don't we just link with Trey? And that's our homie and shit. Like, what better way to get money with your homies and shit? Like, he won't feel no type of way. So he opened up the doors and was like, yeah, cool, y'all can engineer and shit. Mm-hmm. That's how that In the Cut shit started. But it was kind of crazy because years ago, that's kind of where we came first. And then we came back, you know what I'm saying? It was just different. And then it was wild to me that a year before that, Cloud passed, but then that same place where I'm sitting at, where we cook the beats and engineer, is where I sat right next to him. Like, the first person that sat next to me in that shit and watched me play beats for them was Cloud. So it's like, the shit kind of fucked me up in a good way and a bad way, because I'm like, damn, like, that shit was so long ago, but it's like it was just yesterday type shit.
Were you super close with Cloud?
It was just, first of all, I'm the same sign as him, and he's born before me, a day before me.
Yeah.
So it's like, these are things I found out along the way. Like, it would be weird shit with me and him. Like, basically, like, when I found out about him, I had just met 2 people that had the same birthday as me. Then they put me on to him, and he put out some video where it was like a whole bunch of people in the video. And then I was like, all right, this nigga dope and shit, but I'm gonna probably see him during the way, you know what I'm saying? I met Sangster too. I met Sangster, Baby Winch, all around the same time. But I didn't meet Cloud yet. But it's like, people, when I would do music, later on down the line, they'd be like, yo, you sound like Cloud. Mm. And then when I listen to Cloud, yo, this motherfucker sound like you. And we don't sound alike. You know what I'm saying? We don't. It's just like certain times when we do melodies, it's like strong or whatever. So I would hear that shit back and forth. Like, it would just be different. Like, even Carolina Cass was like, yo, there do be similarities between y'all, but y'all have different styles and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that kept happening. And then when I actually linked with him, it was more so like we didn't really care about that shit. We didn't care about, like, I never did a track with him, but I always used to play him beats and shit, but it would be weird because he'd be in the other room recording. I'd be in the other room playing my songs that I did. And then this one time he screamed from the other room. He said, yo, Venom, that's you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that shit hard. And I was like, word. But it was like we had that like weird, you know what I'm saying, relationship and shit. I remember when it was his birthday and I said happy birthday. No. He said happy birthday to me. But I already wished him a happy birthday or some shit. Some happened where,
because his birthday is one day before yours.
yeah, some happened where he was like, I knew it was your birthday because mine's a day before. And that's when I was like, this shit weird. We keep getting compared. We haven't worked with each other. There's certain things I see that he do that I understand that most people probably won't understand. But I didn't know him like that. I wasn't going to school with him, shit like that. But it was literally respect all the time. Like, he told a motherfucker to leave me the fuck alone one time. Like, a motherfucker was about to come into the studio and try to bother me. Yo, you got any beats? Like, da-da-da. He told a motherfucker, Venom's in his own world. Leave him alone. Because when a nigga like that is in his own world, you let him stay in that world. I knew what he was talking about, like the workspace or whatever, but
that's true though, man.
Yeah.
I hate when people try and talk to me while I'm working.
And he was the first motherfucker that, shit crazy, came in, yo, I got a song with French coming, Roddy Rich, this, that. Yo, y'all want writing credits? Y'all want this? Y'all want that? Y'all want producer credits? Do this shit tonight. Open up the whole email, playing all them shits. We sitting there listening, like, and I'm looking at my people like, bro, y'all trying to do this shit? They lost in the moment. I'm in the moment, but I realized it wasn't what he was talking about that they were lost in. They were confused as to how does somebody go to a whole nother state, go to LA, make some shit happen, and the first thing they trying to do is give back.
Yeah.
Before they even get anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing. So that's what was like weird, but dope weird and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Cloudy was different, man. Him, Cloudy, and Donovan McRae were probably the first two people locally that I became actual fans of and watched and followed and watched their stories and was like really invested in what they were doing. I had actually hit him up because he was like, I'm coming back for the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm doing features for like $100 a piece.
Yeah.
And I hit him up and I was like, bro, like, that's a smooth price. Like, let's get this going. Kind of stopped talking to him. Then I'm riding down the road and I hear, Oli, 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 the Holy Ghost, I think is the song.
Yeah.
On K97.5. And I'm like, oh shit, bro! Like, he's on the radio now.
Yeah.
I think it was DJ Double J was playing it. So I messaged him and I was like, bro, you're on K97.5, like, it's fucking lit. Not knowing what had happened already and why he was playing the song. And as soon as I like I think it was like a day later, you know, all the pictures like RIP Cloudy and da came out, and I was like, oh fuck, man, like.
Yeah, it was kind of different because it's like I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but it's more so like, see, I'm older than him. So it's like when those homies, like, I don't know, it was weird shit. Like, it would be like I'm in the studio, be a whole bunch of people. Yo, Venom, you could wash my shoes real quick, bro. Like, put them somewhere. Then I hit him up like, yo, they still in the same spot. That motherfucker would be like, my nigga. It would be certain shit like, I send him a beat, he go on the beat, do the whole song, send me the whole story of it. Then somebody go, yo, I want the exclusive to that or I'm gonna lease it. And I'll be like, damn. And I hit him up and I'm like, yo, somebody want to buy this shit. Oh, bro, rock out. Get your paper, bro. That ain't nothing. I ain't going to stop nobody from getting it. And it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Even though you know you're like that, like that's how I am, it was just like, I feel like I kind of met somebody that was like just another version of me. In a sense. So it was like weird when I was seeing certain shit. Like when I was seeing certain shit, it was like, damn, this is that rock star, superstar shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like don't get too caught up in it. Meaning like so many people around and shit and like not knowing who's who sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like not always like try to understand somebody before you try to celebrate them. Like even while they're alive, like don't just celebrate them because it's a buzz going around. Like that's one thing he had a big problem with, like where it would just be motherfuckers trying to be around because they trying to be on the wave and shit. But these the same motherfuckers that I seen mad people putting him on stage as mad people when it was too late. Like when T-Pain already co-signed him, when King Los already co-signed him, when French Montana, Roddy Ricch, all of them motherfuckers, when Mike Zombie was doing that shit, when Lyrical Lemonade, like all that shit. So when I heard niggas on the radio, like even when he was still here and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers late, bro. Like, but if you're doing this to your own people, like your own people around the way, like we already know we gonna charge it to the game. But that was the part that like really fucked me up with like, which I expressed. And that's why I move how I move. Like I don't be so accessible or try to be so accessible because I've seen great artists be here and leave and shit. I was even working with Sneak too. Sneak the Piper, like he passed too. Like I was working heavy with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I met Sauce Pack. First thing he did, he playing me and Joey's beat and he's sitting right there. We at the club, he's sitting right there freestyling the whole verse. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, damn. Like sometimes you meet people like that and you'll never know if you meet them again. But just shit like that. I just seen different shit with that, with situations like that.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
R.I.P. Cloudy. Prayers to his family.
Yeah.
That
Rest in
shit's
peace,
rough.
Cloud.
The world lost a real artist.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's crazy because they have a totally different style, like him and his whole camp. Like, so that shit always gonna live through them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sankster raw with it. Sankster super raw with it. Like, motherfucker, it's other people that I can name, but I just don't really know too many names. But they got a whole squad of people. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah.
Well, let's end this on a more positive note. Is there anybody you want to shout out? Any apps
Hell
you want
yeah.
to drop?
Hell yeah. Shout out to y'all.
Hey.
Shout out to In the Cut Studios. Shout out Mom Dukes, Pops, my brother, my peoples like Trey 60, Narrative Baby, Joey Bars, fucking T42 French, Guapo Beats, fucking the whole Diamond Lab, motherfucking shit, Icy Chill Out, Crown Chaz, the whole Crown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most High. Introduce your video before I lose this shit on the camera.
Oh, yeah, bet. So this next joint is called Kwame Brown. You'll probably know about the damn situation, but if you don't, you'll know motherfuckers is sleeping. So that's the basic concept on this shit. It's called Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown.
All right, thank you, Venom.
You already.
Hey.
Goddamn.
Another one.
Whoa. My nigga on the tap. tablet like a 2-year-old. You such a smarty pants, I made your girl do the Tootsie Roll. Willy Wonka status, raise the bar, you can't assume my goals. I'm Kwame Brown, mama's cooking, grill me if you want. I will not be misuse. Why you ain't take this shit serious, we ain't got no tissue. And why you play the alphabet, boy, you bitch you. You ain't nobody, the type to get ignored by Captain Ginyu. You gave up on me, well that sucks, I'm back at it. Once I said F then I knew we were gon' have static. So grab the Desert Eagle, caught the nigga catnap. Well, heard you cool, but Ridge is phone a friend, we gon' match it. Mama never raised no bitch, you know she scared of dogs. Beginner's luck brought MC Hammer mirror on the wall. Trust me, I know they bugging cause I just got off. Start from scratch, another one bites the dust, so put the muzzle on. Bitch, watch me walk on water like some fake lean. Bring them here, line them up like some Beijing. Talking shit, but I'm on point, Gary Payton. I gotta weigh in, I caught him at the weigh-in. I chose to be patient. You said I don't know, he might be better off than impatient. That made me impatient. When I'm riding on them Dayton's, bitch, don't talk about dating. I done canceled all they memberships, sent it up to Satan. My nigga on the tablet like a 2-year-old. You such a smarty pants, I made your girl do the Tootsie Roll. Willy Wonka status, raise the bar, you can't assume my goals. I'm Kwame Brown, mama's cooking, grill me if you want. I will not be misused. Why you ain't take this shit serious, we ain't got no tissue. And why you play the alphabet, boy, you bitch you. You ain't nobody, the type to get ignored by Captain Ginyu.